Welcome to Fatman Beyond. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernard.
Hey! Holy shit. Let's address this right away.
How did you get your hands on one
Somebody's
of
going to
those?
make a bunch of money. This is a gift. You got one too. To Kevin, to Marc. You get your own little baby Yoda. From Kelsey and Derek. Who are you, kids? Where are you, magical kids?
Aw,
you
hey.
made these? Fucking A, man.
This is
Yours got a
amazing.
little Christmas hat. These are gorgeous. Look at you. Are you selling them anywhere? Etsy the fuck out of this, man. Yeah. The whole world's looking to get their hands on a baby Yoda. You got one right
and
here.
then,
but
change your address every
fast.
month or so.
Fucking Jon Favreau himself will show up. This is beautiful, man. Thank you for this. Fuck. Well done. I got a gift already.
Whee! Merry Christmas.
All right, kids. Everyone in the room see the movie? Yeah. Here, just for shits and giggles. Anyone not see the movie? Good. All right.
Wow.
Good. So we can be frank and shit like that. Before we dive into anything else, did anybody see SNL last night, Saturday Night Live? How awesome was fucking Eddie Murphy, man?
I feel like a child.
Right? Whole episode was just fun. And he seemed to be having a good time. Fuck, more of that. Every year they should end with him hosting an episode if he'll come back. I know we just had it and shit, but I'm like, do it again. It was so fucking good.
It was great. And there was a bunch of shit that only Eddie Murphy could get away with.
Yes.
Like, have you heard of Me Too? Yeah. You like hoes? Me too.
Yes.
Oh, shit. Did he just? All right. Hey, Eddie.
They seem to know it too, man. They were fucking making jokes about it, throughout the whole sketch, going Twitter's gonna be mad and shit. They pulled it off. But he was just fantastic the whole night, man.
I love that. I think it was in maybe the first sketch. He cursed and they bleeped him out.
Oh, he said shit by accident?
Yeah. And then you saw him oh. And then after that, fuck it. I did it once. What are they going to do to me? He comes out like Gumby, curses a couple times. I don't care now. I may never come back. I don't have to.
It was joyous and joyful. And actually, one of their strongest episodes, of the decade, man. It was really top to bottom. I laughed out loud quite a bit.
I mean, I suppose when Eddie's going to be your host, everybody brings their A game.
Yeah.
You know,
they know the whole world's going to watch the episode, if not live when it happens, afterwards.
Every guest star wants to show up, we got him. Who's the biggest musical act in the country? We got her. We're going to make the shit funny. Let's do it. We're only going to do this once, you guys. Don't show your ass in front of Eddie Murphy unless he asks you to, in which case, there's an after party.
He's referenced, of course he was there for Dolomite, but he referenced being done with Coming to America too. I know. There's a bunch of people I saw online last night who were or this morning actually, I read the reactions, where cats were now I'm looking forward to Coming to America too. I never got out of the Eddie Murphy business.
Yeah, how were you not?
Yeah. It was funny to hear him talk about it though. He seems to have stepped away just to have a family.
10 children?
Yeah.
I just had
fucking
a baby.
Fertile, right?
I mean, I guess when you're that fucking rich, the reasons why most people stop having children don't apply anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sleepy. Doesn't matter. I got 18 nannies. I don't have money for college. I have $48 million in my pocket.
It's true. You could literally have an army at that point.
All they have to do is well-fed and well-led, and Eddie Murphy could do those things.
It was great, man. It just made me feel young. One of those things that I've been on the road with Jay and Silent Bob reboot, and a lot of people are the movie makes me feel like I'm a kid again. And that Eddie Murphy on Saturday Night Live had that feeling for me. I was oh, this is what I felt like when in the 80s when you were I gotta stay up, man. Who's he doing tonight? Gumby, fuck, this is amazing. And he did them all. He did everybody. Except James Brown, but yeah. That was the one thing I was I wonder if but man, no complaints. It was just fucking great. He seemed to be enjoying himself. Even at the end. When he came out at the end, he was just ah! Made me so happy and shit. What else is there? Anything else before we dive into what we're here to talk about?
I don't think so. I mean, you got anything?
No. I don't think so.
I didn't make it out to see Cats today, which I wanted to.
They haven't sent a screener for
Oh, you're never getting a screener of
Yeah.
Cats. For awards contention. Like, please vote best pussies.
What was the... what's been the just general consensus is God, no?
The general consensus is you need to go see this either like really, really tired, really, really drunk, or really, really high, preferably all three at once. But my favorite thing is that they're now apparently shipping new prints to theaters because the special effects is fucked up. They like forgot to replace Judi Dench's human hands with cat hands.
And they were like, oh, that's not a choice. That was an accident.
Yeah, we fucked that up. And apparently there's like a dude in a sweatshirt just banging around in the back scenes. And they're like, oh, we forgot to take that dude either out completely or the sweatshirt. And so like Universal is shipping new prints to theaters, fixing the special effects.
I mean, why?
Like it's better with like their rando human hands.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's that's how you drum up interest. So like you can fucking catch the cut where we fucked up.
Apparently, Tom Hooper, who directed it, who had previously won an Oscar for The King's Speech.
Wonderful movie.
Wonderful movie.
But honestly, not like I wouldn't think like The King's Speech. Give him Cats.
Yeah. He did Les Mis before this.
All right. Well, there you go.
But
right then and there, I would have been like, don't give him Cats. Like Les Mis was wonderful, but it's fucking depressing.
It's a little depressing. I
And
mean, not
Cats,
his
as
fault,
I recall it, is a bunch of like fucking people love that show.
Some do.
A lot of joy.
Now and forever. But on Les Mis, like when you're shooting a musical and you have your cast singing, they're recording their things on stage to what's called a click track, so that you can synchronize all of the people, all of the singing, all the moments, and every camera move, you get all that shit right.
Tell me about filmmaking, Marc.
I will. On Les Mis, Tom Hooper was like, fuck your click track, I just want to record it live, which made all the post-production impossible because you couldn't get any audio sync. So it took them forever to post that. On this movie, he was like, well, okay, we're going to CG all the fucking cats in, right? It's just going to be like actors on the stage, and then we'll press the cat button, and they'll suddenly turn into cats. It's like, so we don't need to put anybody in like mocap suits or like little dots or nothing. We don't need any of that. We should do that, right, Tom? Nope. And they didn't. So, like, that's why people with, like, fucking human hands and cat hands were like, if we had the dots on the hands, we'd have known to replace that. But you didn't want to do that. So now they're they're sparing no expense shipping new versions of a movie into theaters.
It seemed like, I like the thing about that show, and they've been doing it like for 1,100 years at this point, and not just in New York, like all over the fucking world. You know, you put some fucking makeup on a motherfucker and throw some whiskers on him, and they do this shit, and you're there, man. It seemed like they went through a lot of unnecessary expense to do something that has been done perfectly, acceptably, and wonderfully for decades now.
Yeah.
It just felt like we got to use technology, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes, like, fucking wearing a leotard would have worked, man. Throw a fake tail on a motherfucker. Reach out to the furry community. Like, fucking see how they do it. But this just seemed expensive. From the first moment I saw this shit, I'm like, fuck, this looks unnecessarily expensive.
It's like they just wanted to buy a house in the Uncanny Valley.
Yeah.
And like live there full time.
What a great analogy, man. It's fucking true. They're like, yeah, no. Are you sure you want to be in the Uncanny Valley? They're like, that's exactly where we want to be. We want to be unnerving. Like, I went out of my way to make Tusk unnerving. The human walrus, like that shot where he's like, oh, that's like, that was me trying my hardest. They just made a whole fucking movie full of cats, man, and it looks equally unnerving, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and it's for children.
No, I heard that it's all about sex. All these cats want to fuck.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're cats, so sure.
Right.
I mean, it's almost like rabbits. What do they want to do? Fuck.
Right.
But like this had been a Broadway
Really? Is
show.
that the stereotype for cats? I don't think of cats as like slutty. Like when I think of slutty animals, definitely rabbits for sure.
Yeah, on the
dogs because they'll like hump your fucking leg. There's I just want to fucking come, and like it doesn't matter. But cats are. I've never even seen a cat fuck. You?
I I haven't. The fuck was that?
Yeah, was that like you're lying, or was it like, how can you not? It's so hot. I've never seen cats fuck.
Neither have I. I'm allergic to cats fucking.
So I don't think of them as like animals that like fuck a lot, but like in the musical, apparently they're like all they want to do is get down.
Is that what the memories are of? Just previous fucking?
Of having come a few times, yeah.
Sweet.
Like thinking back to good times and shit.
Memories.
Should be what that song's about. I'll be honest, I never really had much of an interest in going, and I do like musicals, so it wasn't necessarily that. Cats is not my bag, but that first trailer sealed the deal. And I really hoped that, for their sake, that it got better, but it sounds like it only got worse.
I want to see how you burn $100 million, and apparently it's you make cats, and I want to watch the flames.
Will it do business? Is it doing any business? Today is what, Saturday?
Today's
Sunday.
Saturday.
So did it do anything this weekend?
The final box office scores, the projections were not great. I'm hearing reports of I'm sitting in an almost empty theater. There's like an old couple sitting like 9 rows in front of me, and it's just us.
That's some yoga hoser shit right there. And we didn't spend that much money to get to that end result. So there you go. Fuck, that's a shame, man. That's a lot of loot.
Totally. That's like a lot of food for a lot of people if they're hungry, and instead we'll make cats.
All right, so that was going on this week. Wait, that opened against Rise of Skywalker?
Yup.
I mean, what the fuck kind of hubris is that, man? They're like, you know that fucking Cats trailer that everyone fucking hates? Double down on the fuck you card. We're gonna open opposite the movie the whole world wants to fucking see. Mm-hmm. Who did they think they were gonna pick up?
The old couple sitting up front.
We are the old couples. And we all went to see fucking Rise of Skywalker. Wow, man, that was silly. I could have told them no on that one.
I mean, maybe they were like, listen, whenever we release this movie, it's going to make no money and be shit on. So at least let's do it now so we have an excuse.
That's actually, it could have been a strategic choice where they're like, oh, we'll go out on the same day as Skywalker. Like, you'll get killed. They're like, we'll go out the same day as Skywalker.
What could have gone wrong?
Because that's right. We all just found out, but they knew months ago.
Oh, yeah.
When did they know, and who knew? No. They've known for a while, this is going to be problematic.
Yeah, no. They're like, by July, oh, no, we've seen this movie, guys.
Yeah. They're let's just take the money and run. Going out on the same day as Rise of Skywalker, I guess makes sense. Put through that prism.
It is.
Anything else come out? Anything else foolhardy enough to? Even I jumped off tour once I knew this movie was coming out.
I don't think so.
Which, by the way, we never really got to talk about it. I was on tour. I never saw Joker the whole time.
Really?
I know. Go fuck me in the mouth. How did I not see it? Guy's got a show called Fatman Beyond. I didn't get a chance, but let me tell you something. Movie I have seen?
Yeah.
Jay and Silent Bob reboot a lot.
Yeah.
I hear it's up. Good. Oh, fuck, it holds up for me and shit. But I never got a chance to break away and see Joker. I did get to watch Joker Blu-ray. Fucking Warner Brothers sent out a Blu-ray, God bless them. And on my big-ass TV, which is big as a movie theater screen anyway and shit. So a theater of one, me by myself. Fucking movie's fucking good, man. Right? Did you not like it? You shit on that movie? Oh my God, what do you want, man? That's the movie we all dreamed about as kids. Like when you read comic books, you're like, could you imagine if they treated this shit seriously and someone made a hardcore fucking Joker movie? They legit did it, man. That movie went hard, no?
It went very hard.
And you still weren't happy? Jesus, I can't wait to hear what you think of this movie, this Star Wars picture. Fuck. Did you come out and say that when the movie was out there in the world?
Uh-huh.
Was I here?
No.
Thank God, man. Holy shit, did the internet try to kill you?
No. I mean, no more than they usually try to kill.
It was, honestly, fucking a quantum leap forward for him as a filmmaker. And he said some ridiculous things in the press on the way up to the lead up to that movie, to the point where you were not necessarily rooting for him, but that movie's so legit wonderful, so fucking good that you're like, my hat's off, man. That's fucking well done it works on a couple different levels. Works as a comic book movie, works as not a comic book movie and shit. I've got one quibble. I thought it was long. You must have thought it was really fucking long if you didn't like it. But I thought it was like, you could have done with like, and I can't even say get rid of this scene, but like, it just felt 15 minutes chunky. I'll tell you, man, you seen Honey Boy yet?
No.
Honey Boy is wonderful. It has nothing to do with like this genre or anything like that, but it's fucking fascinating, incredibly well acted, wonderfully written, brilliantly directed and shit. Great across the board. It's worth watching. Biggest praise I can give it, 90 minutes long. Like fucking, she makes her point, gets the fuck out, man. Like he's a bad dad. I get it. Like fucking, if they had went for like awards length and went for 2 hours, it just would have been another half hour of like, what a prick, you know? But like at 90, I was like, I'm good, I'm full. It was so fucking well done and shit. So Joker felt a little long. And fuck me, what do I know? It made $1 billion. But like, just in terms of length, that's the only thing. I'm like, you probably could have cut it down. And the ending, the last piece, I was like, you didn't need that. Like when he was out of the makeup in the hospital.
Right.
Because I thought him on the fucking cars, and they were all like, wow. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is going to win every fucking award imaginable. Look at this. Like, I'm ready to paint my face and join the movement. Like, this is unbelievable. It's a rallying cry. And then suddenly he's without the makeup. I'm like, oh, they're trying to win awards. So there's that last fucking scene. Somebody, I can't say who told me. Somebody fucking told me, because I don't know if this is out there. Maybe it's on the internet. Did you hear what the ending was supposed to be?
I don't remember. I might have, but I don't remember.
I hope this is fucking true, man, because I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is what I was told by somebody who works in the business and they're in the know and he's fucking super smart and a great storyteller and shit. And I don't know where he got it, but it's reliable information. But I don't know if he's supposed to share it. So I don't know if I'm supposed to share it, but fuck it, it's too good to fucking not share. So I don't want to give the person up.
Okay.
And maybe fucking, this is completely wrong, but I fucking hope it's true. Originally, the movie's supposed to end with him in that room, because I was talking to this person about, like, I didn't think you needed him in the hospital at the end. I thought him on the fucking cars felt like the end of the movie. It was insanely triumphant and stuff. I said originally, the ending in the hospital was different. I don't know if this is true or not, but I fucking, like, when I heard this, I was like, oh, I about cummed myself. And that's saying, like, this movie's already, like, classic, as far as I'm concerned. But then, what might have been, and who knows if it was just in script, but here goes. So he's in the hospital, and he laughs, chuckles, and the lady goes, what's so funny? And he said, I was just thinking something funny. What was supposed to happen was you flashed back to the death of Thomas and Martha Wayne. And it was him killing Thomas and Martha Wayne. And the boy was screaming and crying, and he turned to walk away. Then he turned back, shrugged, and shot the kid. Credits. What the fuck, man? Could you imagine? Like, that's literally the biggest fuck you to the audience. It's like, this world has no Batman. It's just all fucking Jokers. I was like, that's network fucking deep, man. That's fucking so intense. I would have been outraged as a Batman fan and elated as a fan of film. I was like, you ballsy motherfucker. Oh, you did it. But they didn't do it. And still, it was a good fucking movie, man. But if they had done that, would you have liked it more?
A little bit. Although its relationship to the Batman mythos was part of my favorite part of that movie.
Like watching the kid go down the bat pole?
Just, yeah, like the glancing blows that it sort of would come and swerve in and out.
I'm not like, not enough to pull me out of the movie or fuck this movie, but I really like winced or my asshole tightened at mean Thomas Wayne. Like Batman's dad being a prick who you're like, fuck him, I hope he does get shot coming out of a theater. You know, like normally we're always presented, he's a good dude. He raised a good kid and that kid went on to do good things and stuff. So presenting him as this piece of shit, at first I chafed against, but then at the same time I'm like, wouldn't that make your kid even better if you were a big old asshole and shit? Wouldn't that also explain like Batman a little more? All of it was just like, to me, like I sit there and think about, I honestly don't know if I'll ever watch it again. And not because I'm like, oh, the artistry. I mean, he's fucking amazing. Like, he's worth the price of admission alone. Joaquin, of course they'll fucking give him all the awards and shit like that. But I don't think I could fucking do better than that fucking first viewing. I watched it, oddly enough, the day my dog Louie died, and I was in the worst place ever. To me, it was that movie picked me the fuck up, man. That's weird to say about Joker, but like I was in a blue space from the dog being dead, but I took my mind off it for like 2 fucking hours and change. Yeah, I thought it was something. Not you. I'll have to go back and listen to the podcast.
Yeah, I am glad you enjoyed it, Kevin.
Fuck, man. Like, you got a high bar. What else do you want from these people, man? Fuck. I thought it was good. Awesome. Just by show of hands, man. How many people liked that movie, Joker? How many people did not like that movie, Joker? There's a couple.
Yeah. Y'all not even raising your hands.
How many people did not see Joker? Put your hands together.
Huh.
Shit, spoilers. Thought everybody fucking saw it by now. I thought I was the last guy in. Worth watching. All right, shall we?
We shall. So how many times have you seen this movie now?
I've now seen it twice in theaters. I went to the premiere and saw it at the premiere. Then I went to the Chinese theater and watched it on opening night, Thursday night, the very first show that Lining Up buys the theater out for and stuff. Mm-hmm. Claire King from Legion M brought me in and showed me something I'd never seen I had no idea existed at the Chinese. There are secret booths up top. Sid Groman's booth where he would watch movies. And there's a fucking bar attached to it, a separate room for parties and shit like that. It's crazy. The whole time I've been going there for years for movies and shit. Now they're like, you got your hands in the cement, motherfucker. Come upstairs and shit. Oh my God. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'll never be able to just go to the Chinese anymore. I'll be like, yo, you got any more of that booth action left? Where I can look down on everybody like Cersei at the end of Game of Thrones and shit.
Sipping your wine, just
oh
watching
my
shit
God,
on fire.
I was like, fucking, this improved everything and shit. And then they played trailers before that show. Premiere just goes into it. Premiere had the benefit of being introduced by like JJ, who I thought was absolutely fucking magnetic, funny, wonderful and shit like that. And then you had the whole cast there and stuff. And then it's like, hey, shit, there's fucking Steven Spielberg. So there was that aspect of it. The liningup.net screening had enthusiasm. Motherfuckers with lightsabers. They turned the lights off and a bunch of cats turned pshaw, and they all have sound now and shit. So you heard them all light up. It was really kind of sweet. And people were just ready, man. And then they showed a bunch of trailers, which was weird because it's like you want to get right to it. But then they showed fucking Tenet. The first 8 minutes of Tenet, which
8 minutes?
Is that what it was? How long was that?
I saw it
5? Whatever.
Like,
I was thinking, didn't they do that for Dark Knight? It was
yeah,
like
it's
8
the
minutes.
fucking, you know, the
all I know is I saw the trailer online,
IMAX
and I was like, wow, this is fucking dope, man. This looks really good. Oh, he's making a movie, he fucks with time. And then I thought when they put it up, I'm like, oh, we're going to see the trailer in fucking, what's that format? IMAX and shit. But instead, they were like, here's a bunch of movie. They showed you their dick, man. Like, fucking, he didn't hide nothing. He was like, look at the fucking reach of this, and just flopped it out. I felt bad for any movie that had to follow 5 minutes of that movie, because the whole audience, like, as soon as it ended, it was like, boom, had that fucking Hans Zimmer score and shit, and it said Tenet. Whole fucking place was like, wah, ripped the fucking roof off and shit. So I saw it there, then I saw it at home twice because they sent out the Academy screener the day the movie opened. All of a sudden I looked at my envelope and shit, and it was like the movie. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna watch the fuck out of this. So I've seen it now 4 times. How many times you see it?
So twice. So when opening night,
Okay.
at the ArcLight in Sherman Oaks.
Okay.
With a bunch of fucking nerds, because who else is going opening night?
Man, I'm gonna put fucking Baby Yoda right where you can see him, so maybe you don't go so fucking cold. I could feel it already. Look at that, dude. You can't not like that. That's your childhood, man. As a child, right there.
And I saw it again last night. I took my son.
Okay, so you got 2 viewings under your belt.
I got 2 viewings under my belt.
And you're a storytelling man, and you're a fan of the genre and a fan of the series. You've been there for all of them?
The longest relationship I've had in my life, barring my immediate family, is with Star Wars.
Right.
I saw it when I was 7, and now I'm 48. So I'm like almost 41 years in with this fucking franchise.
You lining up your bona fides doesn't give me a lot of confidence right now.
The second viewing went down easier than the first.
Okay.
Because my heart had already been broken.
Oh.
So that the pain didn't sting quite as much. It is hard to talk about this movie independently without A, talking about the balance of the saga, and B, talking about...
It's true, it has the unenviable task of ending not just a movie,
Yes.
but ending a trilogy and ending a saga.
an analogy,
Yeah.
I guess that's what...
And ending a lot of people's childhoods.
Yes. But it also comes out the same year that another giant franchise found a way to wrap up 20 chapters of storytelling.
Ooh, you're going to pull the A card, aren't you?
At the same time. And both of those challenges are incredibly difficult. Like, that's a hard fucking bird to land, right?
Yeah.
Like, you've got scores of characters, you've got lots of people have their favorites, lots of story threads need to be wrapped up, lots of emotional things need to happen in order to make it feel like it had been worth the trip.
Right.
And to a certain degree, I feel like Star Wars, for me, became less about the characters in that drama as it was about us at home watching that drama. And so the relationship that I think JJ has specifically is with fandom, not with Luke and Leia and Han and Rey and Finn and Poe. And so things that happen in this movie happen to make us happy as an audience, but not because it's what the characters need to have happened to them to make that story work.
Right.
An example. There's a moment towards the end of this movie. We've all seen it. Not going to spoil anything.
Yeah, spoilers. If you're watching at home,
FYI.
nothing but spoilers.
Nothing but spoilers. When Poe and the Rebel fleet are on the worst named planet ever, Exegol, and all hope is lost, right? Like they're getting their fucking asses kicked. The fleet's about to take off, and like all hope is lost. And then there's a crackly voice coming over a headphone, and the voice says, "We're all here with you, buddy. There are more of us." And then you look up, and it's Lando and a fucking bazillion spaceships.
Every ship ever created.
Every ship ever created. Now, Poe has no idea really who Lando is. Maybe he's heard of him once or twice in like passing or whatever.
Well, he met him in that one scene. They
He met him
called
in
him
that one
General
scene.
Calrissian.
Right. So, oh yeah, we know who you are. But he has no emotional connection to that character. So when that character shows up, it means kind of nothing to Poe that it's him. It means everything to us as an audience because we have a connection to Lando.
Right.
So, but watching
And
it,
just like in Return of the Jedi, he's going to save the day.
he's going to save the day. And now, when you look at a movie like Endgame, which also has your hero, all hope is lost, standing on the field of battle, everybody around him is like dead, and he hears a crackly voice in his ear, and it's on your left. And that means everything to that guy. Like, to Steve Rogers, that is the world. That
Not just us, the audience.
Not
We're
just
all
us,
like,
the audience.
"That rocks."
And we're all still there for it. But
Yeah.
it's Steve Rogers that means everything to him. And then the billions of ships that show up are his friends who show up. And so that moment has just nothing but emotional resonance. And we're all crying, and he's crying, and he fucking straps his shield in. And then there's a hammer, which is awesome. Like, everything works there. And then in that moment in Rise of Skywalker, I was just like, it's missing the thing that I know it's trying for because it's doing the thing that they just did, literally note for note. And it doesn't work. And I feel like a lot of this movie is giving us things that we kind of think we want, and we get them. And they're less interesting than a thing we didn't know we wanted and are surprised by. You know, like Palpatine, okay, sure. I mean, I guess if you need to have another boss for Kylo Ren to have to find a way to, refute, sure. The last movie gave him his own emperor, which he killed and did the thing, and now he's the supreme leader. So he's the bad guy.
Right.
And we built an entire trilogy of movies where he's going to be your bad guy, who now needs another boss. And that boss is a dude that we killed 3 movies ago, and now we're going to invalidate the sacrifice of Anakin Skywalker just so we have name recognition of this dude?
And actually, if you think about it, they're always like, this is the Skywalker saga. But it's like, in pure minutes of screen time, it really is the Palpatine saga. Because he was in all the prequels, and Luke wasn't. No real Anakin was, but
Right.
fucking, it feels like it may be more Palpatine at the end of the day, man.
Yeah. So there were just like I just found myself wanting it to go deeper into itself and be its own movie and find its own drama and lean less on the stuff of old to build something new and then burn it and then end it and then send it off in its own happy ending. But just as a whole, I just kind of was like, this is how we're landing this bird. And it was shallow for me.
Compared to Game of Thrones ending. Because you were not,
I was not that thrilled with that either. But at least that found plot ways to at least like pay homage to the characters, even though it also was still a little too heavy fan servicey. Like, and again, fan service is not a bad thing. Like giving fans what they want is valid. But it's the things that they don't know that they want is what makes you happy. And finding a way to be both surprising and inevitable is what you're hoping for. And not, again, to refer to Endgame, but when Cap gets fucking Mjolnir, that's everything. Because, oh, shit, of course he can do that. We kind of set it up 4 movies ago.
Yeah.
And it's
he's fucking worthy.
He's worthy. We know he's worthy. We've watched him prove himself worthy. And so when he does it, it becomes this validation of your fealty to that story. And they're trying for that moment here when like Rey's throwing Luke's lightsaber into the fire and then Luke's hand reaches out and grabs it. It's like, I know, but nah. You know, like
that moment had less like, that felt more like there are a few moments, obvious moments of Ryan Johnson correction in the movie, or fuck you, Ryan, like, is what it kind of feels like. Of course, the biggest obvious one was in the trailer we probably talked about, is him putting his mask back together. Because, Ryan got rid of the mask. He's like, fuck it. And then JJ immediately put the mask back together. But that moment there, what was that moment we were just talking about?
When Force Luke catches the lightsaber.
Especially when he's like, a Jedi's weapon deserves way more respect than this. Felt like a real, like, hey kids, it's Mark Hamill's lecture. Like, and which is really JJ's lecture of just like, we shouldn't have done that in the last movie or whatever. Yeah. There were a few of those moments. Including they referenced like Holdo at one point. Somebody was like, hey man, what do we try the Holdo maneuver? Which to me, I'm like, fuck yeah, it worked once. Do it for like more movies. Go ahead, like keep doing it. Fucking just sacrifice a ship each time. But somebody was like, nah, it only works once. And you're like, why? Yeah, let's go deeper in the conversation. But to be fair, I remember seeing Last Jedi, and, I was like, well, why can't Luke get off the planet and go to, Crake or whatever the fuck? And they were like, because, man, fucking his ship is in the water. And I'm like, and? And they're like, well, because he's got no astromech droid. And I'm like, yeah, but only because Ryan didn't give him one. Like, if he wanted to give him one, he could get there. And let's be honest, he don't need any of this shit. Can't he just be like, the fucking Force took me there and shit, which they eventually kind of do. Right. So, at the end of the day, like, when he comes to this moment in the movie where he raises the X-Wing, even that felt like fucking, fuck you, Ryan. I'm gonna take your plane out of the water and we're gonna use it to get into the third fucking act.
But like even that moment where you're like, okay, we're going back to this planet, we're gonna have this conversation with Luke who's gonna set us on the right path, and then we gotta get this X-Wing out of the fucking swamp, right? Clearly. Who gets to do that?
Of course.
That moment in Empire where Luke tries and fails is indicative of him not being able to be the hero he needs to be. He's going to fail against Vader because he can't do this thing. It's the sign and signal that he is not ready yet to be the hero he's going to be.
Yes.
In this moment in Rey's story, she is the hero she needs to be to move this along. So why doesn't she lift out the fucking thing?
For us.
But also...
Because we want to see Luke do it. Because if Rey did it, a lot of people would be like, what the fuck? Why didn't they let Luke fucking raise it? Because that would have been so metal, because he couldn't do it in Empire. Like, the moment they did that, honestly, I felt the movie was satisfying and gratifying for that reason. Because anytime I was like, they better... All right, they did that.
Right.
Oh, they better not. All
it's
right,
satisfying and gratifying to us.
It ticked every box.
It's satisfying to us as the audience, but not to the character in the story.
I agree.
Because that is the moment where she is proving herself worthy of being able to take on whatever bad guy is going to be at the end of it.
Right.
It's Luke. You can have Luke say, "How am I supposed to get there? I have a ship." And then you see it fucking lift out, and then you see him smile at her as she does it. Because she's got the fucking force. She's the dyad, whatever that bullshit is.
Yeah, that was kind of the midi-chloridians of this movie, man. They just tossed it out there real quick and rolled over it.
So yeah, like it's just the fealty you have as a storyteller is to the characters in the story, and you're hopefully telling a story that the audience will respond to. But you can't I mean, yeah, I love cheeseburgers, and so when I go to a restaurant, and I order a cheeseburger. I want a cheeseburger. But if like I go to a restaurant from a chef that I trust, I'm like, yeah, bring me something I'm gonna love, and you're supposed to know what I like and give me something I didn't expect to get. And like,
do you ever do that? Do you ever go to a restaurant and be like, surprise me? What kind of fucking rich man bullshit is that?
Hell fucking yeah.
Fuck, dude.
I've been
1%er, you're like, I don't care. Just fucking feed me.
I'm a Hollywood elite.
It better be endangered.
Surprise me. Is the Norwell good today? Well, then give me some of that.
I had a different experience with it. I enjoyed it. Like I said, satisfying, gratifying. I yelled a bunch during the movie, which I was reminded by. I saw somebody on Twitter said, I enjoyed the movie more because I sat in front of Kevin Smith. He kept screaming the whole movie and shit. And I did. Every time they did a fan service thing, I was like, yeah! Like fucking I don't know how I was the first person, but like as soon as you heard the voice go, hey kid, like I was like, no fucking way. Disney must have so much fucking money to pull this off. Oh my God, they had to pay him a king's ransom to get him to show up, man. But he fucking, sure enough, there was him. As soon as we saw Han Solo, fucking everyone applauded. But on top of that, as soon as the applause was dying down, I was like, fuck yeah, JJ! And then people laughed. I felt good. But I had a lot of moments like that, fan servicey, scream out moments.
I love that moment because it's helping to turn your kind of second hero of this saga on the right path. And I love that he ends. The last word Han Solo says in all of these movies is, I know.
Yeah.
And it's
glorious. I saw that and heard that too. I was like, which is kind of a great way. Like that was his I love you. Yeah. To his mom. So him saying it that's him saying it to his kid. I like that scene so much. I think that boy is such a good actor. Adam Driver, he's fucking more of a man than I'll ever be. Call him a boy. He's just younger than me, man.
Yeah,
he's a kid.
Fought in a war.
Call him a kid. He did. He's fought in many wars and shit. In real life, not just in the movies Marine. And shit. I thought you meant the Star Wars.
And those
I was like, oh, Mark, those aren't real. He's real good, man. Like, he's such a good actor that he can, like, sell some of this shit. And he really sold that scene with Han, which, to be fair, going into this movie, I was like, they better kill the fuck out of Kylo Ren for what he did to Han Solo, piece of shit. And then once he's with his dad, I'm like, oh, man, they're bonding.
Yeah.
And I like how everyone kept calling him Ben. I was way into that, man. Like, fucking how she kept differentiating, where he's like, I offered you my hand. And she's like, I was looking for Ben. You know, it was all came down to, like, Ben's a different guy. How awesome to be able to fucking literally kill planets full of people and then be like, oh, that wasn't me. That was Kylo Ren. I'm Ben, the good guy who wears sweaters from the Gap, you know, like. We can make out before I die because I'm good old Ben, man, but pay no attention to the Knight of Ren who just fucking slaughtered people and shit left and right.
That was the one time I think I might have ever sat there in a movie theater and like lifted the middle finger and shouted, fuck you.
For the kiss?
The kiss.
I don't know. See, at some point the like internet infected me and I became a Raylo shipper where I was like, oh yeah, they could work as a couple. I never saw that. When I saw those movies, it never occurred to me. I'm like, well, she's the good guy and he's the bad guy and never the twain shall meet. But I guess the obvious play is like, well, fucking love wins and whatever the fuck. And that story, I guess, is easy to tell if it's that same familiar note, but I don't know. You could tell that same story if Finn is the fucking hero and Kylo Ren is the bad guy and fucking they fall in love. That would be a ballsy fucking Star Wars right there. But I didn't have a beef with with them kissing. What I honestly, I sat there going like when they kissed, I was like, yeah, man, like a bunch of the internet's gonna be happy. And then I was like, oh, but a bunch of the internet's gonna be mad. And then he dropped dead, and I was like, he won the entire internet. Like, he got them all, man. Like, they kissed, they could have been lovers, but he's dead. And he deserves to die because he killed Han Solo, piece of shit. But I thought it seemed like a lot of checking a box. It seemed like fan service across the boards in ways of like, what do they like? Let's do that. Like, fucking look, I'll be honest with you. Movie could have like sucked all the way right till when Chewie got in a medal, and then I would have been like, that was worth the trip, man. I've been waiting fucking 42 years to see somebody recognize the space dog, you know, and they finally gave him his medal. He's like, fuck, I was there too. But it wasn't even his medal. If I read that movie correctly,
Leia's medal, right?
It's not Leia's medal. She didn't get one.
It's Han's medal.
Han's medal, which she would have because he passed away. So I like that a lot. When I had to deep think it, because at first I was like, what? How many of these medals do they got? And how long did they wait to be like, all right, it's been fucking 42 years. Give Chewie a medal. And then I was like, no. And then I knew it wasn't her medal. I knew she was holding it when she died. And that's what I thought was kind of sweet, because she was holding Han's medal. And that, like, I'm going to get emotional. That, like, for her, that was the greatest moment of that dude's life. She had a kid. She had, with this fucker and shit. Mm-hmm. But, like, the greatest thing he ever did was that, like, piece of shit was like, I'm in it for the money, man. Fuck your war. And he took off. And the greatest thing he ever did for her was not, like, kissing her or fucking marrying her or fucking, like, them becoming a couple. It was when he came back and fucking saved her rebellion. So her holding that medal, I got real fucking emotional when I figured out that's Han's medal. And I didn't get it until, like, the third viewing. I was like, she's clutching his medal to her heart. That's so fucking beautiful. That the medal is then passed on to Chewie is really fucking sweet because it's Han's medal. Mm-hmm. So it's like you get the double hit out of that fucking medal, and it just irritates me, and nobody thought to do it until this moment. And he did it right before the credits, but I was happy it fucking happened at all. Because it wasn't something I knew I wanted, but when he did it, I was like, oh, fuck, of course you would have to do that. Because I talked about it on a podcast once. For years and shit. Yeah. There were lots of little beats like that. Admiral Akbar having a kid, Junior, I thought that was fucking sweet. Nine Numb being in the battle, Wedge showing up for another fucking battle, the Battle of Icicle or whatever the fuck it's called, Exicle. What else did I like? There was, I thought the beginning felt oddly choppy to me. Like, I tried to think about it. Was there ever a single Star Wars movie that opened with a montage? No. Every Star Wars movie opens like the crawl finishes and we're in space. Like in Star Wars, you pan down and there's the Tantive and then there's the Star Destroyer and we're into the movie. It's a scene. Empire Strikes Back, you're watching the words. Then it's the probes, if I remember correctly, and then we're down to Hoth and fucking the movie. It's a scene. You're in a fucking scene. Return of the Jedi, it's the crawl, and then do we go down to Tatooine and it's the droids? No, it's Death Star, so you're in fucking space and it's a scene. It's the Emperor showing up or something? Darth Vader arrives on the half-built fucking new Death Star. Fuck, it's been a minute, man. So, boom, you're into a scene. I can't speak for the prequels because, like, I've gone through a lot of therapy to burn them out of my fucking head. No, I just don't know them quite as well. Dave Filoni would slap me for saying something like that. But this was the first movie, even in the new movies, you start in space and then you start your scene. This is the first time where it was like you start with a crawl and then you come down to like a planet and then there's like a slow-mo montage of like Kylo Ren porn, like him just killing fucking people. And he's got to do something there. That's when he gets like fucking oscillation overthruster and shit. And then he goes to another fucking place. Like it was not a straight up scene. It felt choppy. It felt like probably the opening scene was that kill-a-thon, which went on and was an actual scene or whatever, and then it got compressed into this montage-y affair and stuff. So that was the first thing I noticed where I was like, oh, we're not in Kansas anymore. We're not doing things normally. And I remember in interviews he was talking about, like, I feel free to break off form and do whatever and shit, which he did.
How did you feel about Rey being Palpatine's granddaughter?
I'll be honest with you. I liked, I respected what Ryan was trying to set up, where it's like you're nobody, like fucking no, you're not part of it. Like I thought one of the coldest fucking lines in that movie was, I forget exactly what the words are, but in Last Jedi when he was like, this isn't about you.
Yeah, you're not special.
Yeah, like fucking, you're not a part of this. You're just a fucking scavenger. Like that was dope, man. That was so like, that was like fucking, what's his name? Fucking, who's the dude who's in James Spader in Pretty in Pink? Like, remember that character he played? He was always just
Blaine.
like, yeah, oh, just so shitty.
I mean, they're
and
all
the
named
guys-
Blaine. All the
Yes.
bad guys in those movies named Blaine.
Oh my God, fucking, it was just so cold and shit. So I liked what he was doing, but I'll be honest with you, when he did it, I was like, oh no, she better be fucking related to somebody. Like, why am I'm in this story? Otherwise, she better be invested. This is the Skywalker saga and shit like that. So, you know, I always assumed Ben Kenobi, and then Ryan did what he did with the second movie, and then I knew they were going to retcon it into something because people largely didn't seem satisfied with her not being connected to a previous character. And so when they chose Palpatine, I'm like, honestly, the first thought I had was, he got laid? Like Kylo Ren, I think he died a virgin, man. Fucking, and Palpatine somehow got laid? Like, that seemed weird. And that he had a kid, and that, like, the kid, like, his rebellion was, I'm going good, and fucked off. Like, as opposed to be part of the Empire and shit like that. I was fine with it. I mean, they had to connect her to somebody, but like...
But do you, though?
Yeah.
Like, there's something super nice about anybody can wear the mask.
Yeah.
Right? Like, anybody can be a hero.
Well, they
there's
were giving you
1,000
that with
Jedis,
Finn.
and there's one fucking Skywalker.
Yeah, I know, but it's the Skywalker saga. I mean, you get to do 100 movies about people who are force sensitive and shit that aren't part of like that 9-movie saga that George Lucas envisioned and stuff. So I don't know. Like I get what they were trying to do in Last Jedi, and I think it's cool and stuff. But at the same time, I want fan service. I did want her to be connected to one of the other characters. I never imagined it would be fucking Palpatine, man. Had somebody told me like, oh, she's gonna be related to Palpatine, I'd be like, oh, just make her a scavenger, please. Like fucking, we've had enough of that character. But boy, he came back, man. That was there was a fuck ton of Palpatine in this movie.
Yeah, there
A
was.
palatable amount of Palpatine. Lots and lots of Palpatine. I didn't mind it though so much she had to be related to somebody. You know, clearly it wasn't going to be Luke and Leia and stuff. So
I don't know. I think
thought Ben Kenobi would have made more sense.
I
But
think
maybe
in a-
he didn't get laid either. Right?
In a saga where there was literally a virgin birth.
That's true.
Where like, where did this all fucking start? You know, the Force had a baby.
Which didn't Palpatine technically, like, if I remember my Star Wars history prequels correctly, Palpatine technically, he was the one that arranged for the midi-chlorian. He didn't have sex with her, but he was responsible for Anakin's. It's canon. Where did they talk about it? What is it? It's up to interpretation? Yeah, I thought the idea was that like Palpatine was responsible technically for the creation of Anakin Skywalker.
I mean, that ain't in the movies. In the movies, Shmi Skywalker's just like, I had a baby. I didn't fuck nobody. And that baby is this little kid. And then it's like, oh,
That should have been the title right there. That movie would have made so much more money.
Right. Like the idea that the Force knows that it's out of balance and it is causing the correction of said balance. So why couldn't that have been the same thing with Rey? Why couldn't she just have been some fucking girl on a junk planet from nobody who the Force decided was going to be the one to bring balance to the Force? That's how this goes. And you still have a Skywalker. Ben Solo is a Skywalker. And you're going to redeem him by the end because these stories are always about redemption. So you still get to have a Rise of Skywalker, and the movies still get to be about a Skywalker without it being that person.
Oh, so fuck. I always forget. He is a Skywalker, so technically the title, they get 2 bites at that apple. Mm-hmm. It's not just like her going, I think I'll steal his name. But that also kind of, who's she honoring there? Because she saw Luke and Leia in the clouds, like his Force ghost. But how come she didn't see Kylo Ren? He disappeared, and he did good shit at the end, right?
Yeah. I mean, by the standards set by these movies.
I'm asking you. Why wasn't Kylo Ren there?
Yeah.
As if you're going to have a good answer for me. Like, I don't fucking know. I was already against the movie. It would have been, cool if he was. Honestly, the one thing I wanted to see in the movie, the thing I said was like, if JJ could pull this off, he fucking wins forever. is to put all three of those in one shot.
Right.
And they got close, and I guess for reasons like, well, technically Han Solo wasn't a Jedi, so he wouldn't have a Force ghost. But I'm like, yeah, but only because you say that. Like, you could literally have made him a Force ghost. And yes, there would have been some people being like, he can't really be that. But there are already people pissed off anyway.
Right.
Might as well give everyone what they want. Put those three fuckers standing next to each other. And there's your end credits and shit. Oh, my God. They would push all the Oscars on it. But he got close. He put them all in the same movie. They were all there.
He did.
Were you surprised that Harrison Ford showed up?
I was surprised. Although, like...
They kept that real quiet,
kept
too.
it super quiet.
Yeah. Baby Yoda quiet.
And it's like, yeah, fuck. And that's like my second favorite scene in the movie.
Is him with his dad.
Is him
right?
with his dad.
It's fucking
it's
sweet,
fucking
right?
amazing. And I love the bit. The one bit of this movie that actually got me teary was when Chewie learns about Leia's death.
Yes, bitch. Yes. First time I saw it, it didn't register. Second time, I was like, oh, he's rather emotional.
Yeah,
and then the third time I saw it, I was like, that guy's crying from the weight of like, everyone I know is fucking dead, man. I don't like any of the new kids. Oh my God, I'm gonna go eat some fucking porgs.
That's the last person I knew.
Oh, that was heartbreaking. Yeah, he was just like, he wailed and dropped to his fucking all fours and
Like,
shit.
and I wanted to live in that moment for longer.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to be with fucking, like, thoroughly distraught Chewbacca. And, like, I think Lando, like, comes in on the tail end of that scene, and they're like, we're gonna launch a fucking... We didn't know what we were doing when we were young. Like, what? Lando and Chewie both reckoning with the death of Leia would have been lovely, because they're the last two people who, like, rolled with them when they were kids.
Yeah.
Like, give Lando a bit of that moment, but let it be fucking Chewie. Agony. More of it. Give me the pain.
I honestly, I did feel more based on Chewie's reaction than I did feel when Leia died. First, I was confused. First viewing, I was like, wait, what did she do? Did she use her life force? I had to piece this together myself. I was like, did she cast her fucking life force across the galaxy the way Luke cast his fucking, visage? And what did she do exactly? Make him like, you be good for 5 seconds. Like, is that what that was? Or just she imbued him with the goodness of herself, and that made him stop long enough for him to get killed, which was satisfying. I was like, yes! I screamed out when that happened. I was like, fuck yeah, I was happy to see him die. Then they checked the other box where they're like, he ain't gonna die. She gonna fucking heal him with that Wolverine Healy magic and shit like that. Watch that wound close up. And then I got it. Like, it was good that he was like, oh, you fucking healed me. The Force can be used for good. Like, fucking, you can heal people with it and shit.
Right. I mean, it feels like Leia found a way to reach out to Kylo, and that's what allowed Rey to kill him.
Which, what?
Yeah. Like, because when
Was that Leia's intention?
When Leia dies...
I'm going to hold his hand so that he gets killed?
It's super unclear. Part of the problem is that you don't actually have an actress to do the other side of that story. In that, you've only got what little they had of Carrie Fisher from the production of Force Awakens, and I'm sure there was some stuff left over from Last Jedi as well. So you're trying to, like, thread this really difficult...
You're writing
pattern
around the footage that you have.
Right. And so you can't get
But
the
what
scene
is your
you want.
takeaway? What did
My
she do?
takeaway is that when she dies, Ben feels it. And that's what stops him from attacking her.
Then what did she do? Kill herself? Because she went with purpose to lay down and didn't Maz Cantata say like she's trying to reach him or something like that. She gave some exposition. He heard her voice.
Yeah.
She didn't disappear until he did.
But
the body.
She lets go of she's dead. She lets go of the metal. Right.
JC's got a microphone. Stand in the space, and you got
what do you
answer for
think
this.
happened, JC?
Yeah, what was your read of that moment?
Even though in Last Jedi, Leia says, there's no good in him, Luke, go kill him. No mother is going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to distract my son so that new girl who I hugged instead of Chewbacca when my husband died can kill my son. That's silly. It's silly.
Amazing, man.
Nobody did that.
Some people won't let anything fucking die, man. Still carrying that grudge. So wait, but you didn't answer the question. What did she do in that moment?
I think she just reached out to him and hey, I'm your mom. be good. I'm going to.
I want to see your Star Wars movie where she's like, hey, I'm your mom.
Kylo was obviously conflicted there anyway.
Yes.
And that scene mirrors Anakin's demise in Episode 3. Anakin turned to Darth Vader in a river of lava with lava waves. Kylo turned to Ben Solo in an ocean with water waves. He was...
Because
reasons. That mirrors that.
Yeah.
There's... Leia reached out. The scene with...
You could just say, I don't know.
Because if she could do that,
Yeah.
why hadn't she done that every fucking week for the balance of her life? Like, if all I gotta do was make this call, then he'll be cool again.
Yeah, give him a virtual hug. That's all the kid wanted, man.
I thought it was a virtual
There
hug.
was somebody here, Eric Carrasco, who wrote episodes of Supergirl. He's been here on the show. He's working on Masters of the Universe with me. We were talking about, and Marc, we were talking about the movie, and he goes, and he's like you. He improves the thing where you're like, fuck, why didn't they do that? And he said, wouldn't it have been cool if how she died was bringing Han back for that moment? Like, is that what she did? Get on a fucking microphone where people can see you.
Well, no, because Kylo says you're just a memory. It's not you're a Force ghost.
Yes.
It's you're in my head. And so Han says, I'm only telling you what you already know.
Yes.
I think in the same way that like Luke projected himself across the universe at the end of Last Jedi,
Yes.
she sends him Ben as a sort of like last message. But that's what she does. Is she loses her life by basically creating a last vision of Han. That's my theory.
I mean, that's like, look, if that's it, then I fucking think that's great. But I didn't get that read. I didn't get that until Eric told me that, and I was like, holy shit, that would have made it so much better. Like, she died pulling fucking Han Solo to him. Because that's the real redemption.
Right.
Like, where he sits there and has that conversation, and they repeat the same shit that he said on the bridge, where he's like, I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
Right. And then so all you need to have happen
And then he throws his lightsaber away, and then Luke shows up, and he's like, a Jedi's weapon deserves more respect than that.
But for that to work, what you then need for Han to say is, like, you're just a memory. No, your mother sent me to you. That's all you fucking need.
That's what I'm saying. One line. That's what Eric said. He's like, one more line, and you own the audience hearts. He had another fucking moment like that, where he's in the movie. What is the character that Finn meets, who's also used to be a Jana? Who honestly felt like, wait, shouldn't Rose Tico be doing all this stuff? Like, didn't they bring her in
Rose should be doing a lot more than she's doing.
Yeah, that felt weird. It felt like they introduced like new characters, and it was like even like as one thing, he introduced Zori and stuff like that. That's Poe's backstory, but it felt like at the very least, Rose Tico could have given us all the information that the Hobbit guy gave us. Like, the Hobbit guy, like, every once in a while pulled me into another movie where I was like, wait, what am I watching? Like,
why? Huh?
And him I got eventually because I'm like, oh, he was in Dominic Monaghan, and he was in Lost, and JJ did Lost, so I get it. But it feels like every line he had, you might have wanted to let Rose say, because she didn't really have a lot to do.
Instead, she's like, I think the shields are up, Captain. Like, she's Uhura for like 3 scenes of that movie, and then she's got a gun in the last scene, which is kind of cool, but yeah, there's a lot more screen time that could have gone to her.
There's a moment they're like, Rose, you coming? And she's like, nah, I'm going to stay here. And I'm like, I don't know if that's what the Rose I met in the last movie would have done, but whatever. But wait, so there was the moment he said was, about Jana. He's like, she reveals that she was also a stormtrooper like him. And, and we were all in this battle, and they told us to kill civilians, and we all put our guns down. We all mutinied and shit. And he goes, all you have to do is write one more line to make that emotionally resonate. And I was like, what's the line? And he goes, you need Finn to say, because he says in the movie, why'd you do that? And she goes, I don't know, we just all did it. And he goes, all she has to say is, and I'm going to cry saying it, we heard about you.
Yeah.
Because he did that in the fucking first movie. Eric said that. I went and kissed him on the face. forgetting that he didn't put that in the movie and it's not in the movie. I was like, that's so fucking beautiful, man. Like that his shit would have resonated. Like that 3 movies later, that thing that you did, like you are the rebellion, you are the resistance. Like fucking, you're not just the guy who's like, Ray, come back.
I have something to tell you that I'm never going to tell you.
Tell me what it is. Nah, it's okay. JJ, apparently, I looked online, JJ at a screening somewhere, a Q&A afterwards, said what he said. He said he dropped the ball, he cut something out, and so we didn't ever find out what Finn wanted to tell her, and it's that he was force sensitive, which we see throughout the movie. So they felt they could lose that, and the audience is pretty bright, and they wouldn't put it together. But I think JC has something to say.
The theory that my friends and I had afterwards about
I can't believe I got to tell you this, but move into the fucking light, man.
the new Andorian defectors.
Yes.
Is that all of them are force sensitive, and the indoctrination of the First Order didn't take, because that will be the new Jedi Order, or pass on what you have learned will spawn from Finn and that group of defecting stormtroopers.
I smell a Disney Plus show right there, man.
Which,
because Lando says, he's like, where are you from, kid? She's like, I don't know. And he's like, well, let's go find out. And then nothing happens, and I was like, what the? Oh, Disney Plus. That's where we're going to find out. The saga will never fucking end.
Let's go find out as we fuck a lot on this ship. Like, there's like a weird swerve.
Yeah. Maybe we're all reading something into it, like, oh, that's a new Disney Plus series. And JJ's like, no, he's just hitting on her.
And it's weird and uncomfortable.
That's a cool thing, man. Like, because you could spend more time with that storyline. A little more time with that storyline, talking about that, connected to him. That would have been amazing.
Also,
a little
cool.
less with the horses and shit.
How cool would that show be?
Why? Explain. Tell me how cool
Just Finn being the captain of the new Jedi?
He don't want to. He's already, John Boyega said he doesn't want to do a Star Wars show for Disney Plus.
Well, then it's Lando and the lady.
That's
and
what I'm saying,
discovered,
right? And I think you just came up with the title right there. It's Lando and the lady.
The lady and the tramp.
Second draft was wonderful. Yes, you know, there are definitely moments, but I think I could do that with every Star Wars movie. I'm still, to this fucking day, really fucking like, and I know I'm right, and it's not just like some bullshit fan theory, but Return of the Jedi, I've talked about it probably here. Return of the Jedi, the Emperor's sitting in that chair, and he's like, I feel your hatred. Grab your weapon, strike me down. He literally taunts the kid into doing it. The kid does it, but then like fucking, there's the Emperor and I'm Luke. He gets it, and he goes for a frontal fucking attack. And of course Darth Vader fucking blocks the shot. Who fucking goes for a frontal attack against fuck Darth Vader? This is the evil Wizard of Oz. He could do fucking everything and shit like that. I always thought from 1983 to this fucking day, man, if he had fucking pulled that shit and then went around, if he just did a circle and came behind the chair and then cut that fucker in half, we're done. It's all over shit. Like, and then he talks to his dad and fucking credits. It's all good and shit. That's why in Last Jedi, when fucking like Kylo Ren was like, ooh, and fucking Snoke got fucking stabbed.
Joink.
I was like, that guy's brilliant, man. Because he had an idea that I had when I was a child.
You're force sensitive, Kevin.
Oh, fuck, man. Me and him. All right, wait, what were we talking about? So anyway, there's a lot of shit that I could be like, I'd fix this, or I'd do this. I still feel like the time for Princess Leia to die in those movies was in the chair instead of Admiral Holdo in Last Jedi. Imagine how powerful that is. This girl who we saw from the beginning fighting this fucking endless fucking war and shit like that. If she's the one that's just like, the only way to save this rebellion is to give my life, like that shit fucking wins Oscars. Now you could backseat drive these movies all day long and stuff like that. So, you know, it doesn't really pay to do that kind of, it's fun, but it doesn't really fucking make the movies any better and shit like that. So you judge the movie you got. And I was satisfied with the movie I got. I was like, look, they got to end it. He checked every fucking box. I felt good about things. I was hooting and hollering. They brought back everybody I care about, if only for one fucking scene and stuff. They gave Chewie a medal. What fucking more do you people want? Like fucking, that was it. That's what I felt like.
I will tell you the one last thing that I wanted.
All right.
I wanted.
Is this you rewriting it?
This is me rewriting it.
Go.
Just a little bit. There's that line that Luke tells her when, Force Luke, it's like 1,000 generations of Jedi live in you now.
Yes.
Right? And so her entire arc of the movie is, trying to connect with those generations. Be with me. Be with me.
Which I didn't get until the third viewing. When she was just floating in the air going, be with me, I was like, she trying to reach that Kylo Ren? Fuck you, man. Like, he killed Han Solo and shit. But then it was third viewing, I realized she's trying to reach out to the Jedi. Because Princess Leia, or General Leia, says it. Like, fucking, like, Rey says, I can't hear all the Jedi's voices. I realized, they were threading a needle. They needed to be more clear for a stoner like me. I didn't pick that up till third viewing.
Right. And so, like, the very end of it, like, she's got her ass kicked by Palpatine, and she's, like, lying on prostrate on the ground. Mm-hmm. And then she connects with them.
Yes.
And she hears all the voices. I want to see the fucking Jedi class trip picture. Show me all of those fucking Jedi.
Yeah.
Like, show me the line. Like, there's that great sequence in Last Jedi where she's looking in the mirror and she sees 1,000 rays going back and forth.
Yeah.
Show me those fucking Jedi. Show me Qui-Gon. Show me Ahsoka. Show me Vader. Show me everybody.
Did you hear, like, as soon as I heard her voice, I was like, I fucking teared up. I was like, but I knew to look for it because he had done an interview where he's like, if you're an Ahsoka fan, pay attention. He didn't say what it was. And then when we started hearing the voices, I was like, no. And you heard her voice, and I was like, it's fucking canon. I got so fucking happy.
Like, show me all of that stuff, and then right at the front of the fucking line.
Was it everybody? Was it?
It's
they
pretty
definitely
much
had
everybody.
Qui-Gon. They definitely had young Ben Kenobi.
And I think they had a little old Ben Kenobi.
Did they mix him in there as
They
well?
mixed him in there.
Who else? Mace Windu. Yoda, of course. Was Ezra in there?
Yeah.
For sure?
Yeah. No, I saw his name in the credits. But like,
See, how can you fucking not like that, dude?
Because-
that's fan service at the highest
but
order.
show them to me.
I know, I'm with you
can
on that.
get
But
all of
even
those
just
fucking
hearing
people.
that, I'm like,
No, fucking show me. And have the last person in that line, right up to Rey as she's lying on the ground, is young fucking Princess Leia as she was kneeling in front of the fucking R2, putting the thing in, saying, you can do this, Rey.
oh,
Get
fuck
up.
you.
Just, like, give it to me. It's right there. It's like you walked right up to that and was like, I don't want to open that door because it's too fucking cool behind that door. So I'm going to just give you a bunch of voices.
There's too many feels behind that door. Oh, God, I hadn't realized, man. Boy, I was fucking satisfied with the audio. Maybe because I'm a podcast guy. I'm like, yeah, I'm happy to hear everybody's voice. But fucking, you're right. They really should have showed us that shit.
And then you get everybody. You get the fucking overlooked picture of like Jack Nicholson surrounded by all of these faces. Like, you got this, Rey. You can do it. And then do some cool fucking Force shit. I'm a little...
Is that really how you think of it? As the overlook picture in The Shining?
Yeah.
That's your go-to analogy? Isn't it more like the end of Labyrinth where they're like, bye, Ludo says bye, and they all pop out, and they're like, goodbye, and they all fucking say goodbye and shit?
Well, the more direct lift is Avatar: The Last Airbender. There's an entire sequence where the Avatar Aang has lost connection to the rest of the Avatars, and he spends an entire season kind of trying to reconnect with his other like progenitors, and it's 1,000 generations of Avatars, and there is that sequence when he finally breaks through, and there's everybody, like everybody, and it hammers it fucking home that like, oh, you've reconnected. We're all here for you. Go do the thing, Rey.
I mean, and they've done, like, what's the most amount of Force Ghosts they've done at one time? Like 3?
6, 3,
3, I think, right?
Anakin.
So you could have, and they don't even need to be in the same place at the same time. You can fade up. You know, stop backseat driving this movie, man. But that would have been a cool idea.
You know, and I wanted, like, there's a video game. I can't remember the name of it, but I remember it follows Star Killer, played by Sam Witwer, right? What's the name of that game?
Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed, where there's the climactic sequence where that character has to pull a Star Destroyer out of the sky.
Right.
And it's like the biggest fucking thing you've ever seen. And like, show me that. Show me that Rey is the like apotheosis of Jedi. Show me that she's more powerful than anybody who came before them and armed with the power of everybody who came before her. Have her...
She did. She fucking killed Palpatine.
Yeah, but fucking like lightsabers thrown light... I've seen the lightning lightsaber shit before. Why doesn't she save the fleet? Like, why isn't she fucking like crashing Star Destroyers into each other? Why isn't she moving mountains literally with her fucking mind because she's the best that has ever been.
I actually would like to see that, man. If she was just fucking unleashed and she started bashing ships into one another and shit. There was a lot of ships they built. Who was gonna man these ships?
How do they find like 30, 40,000 commanders?
The guy's like, here's your fleet. And he's like, you got a bunch of people qualified to fly these fucking things? Otherwise, we got a bunch of empty ships. He's
Hiding
like,
on
it
this
looks
shitty
mean
fucking
and
planet.
metal. It was very, yeah. I like the idea that technology is getting smaller and smaller, and that they're like, we don't need a Death Star because now every Star Destroyer is a Death Star, which followed Last Jedi had that fucking cannon that was like, this is like a mini a Death Star cannon and shit.
I dug Richard E. Grant too.
Did you?
I did.
I mean, he's really doing. They didn't give him anything to do.
He was just like good and
I
evil.
mean, I'm not fighting you, but he certainly. What do you mean, good and evil?
Well, he's good.
Oh, good and evil.
Good and evil.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
rock
just
and
when you
roll.
hire a Richard Grant, I'm like, we're gonna get some shit, and I'm like, oh, they just let him be in it. He was fine, but I didn't know what you meant when you like I fucking dug it. I was like, maybe I
did.
fell asleep.
It was just a little. It was another speed that I think again is calling back to fucking A New Hope, where you just have a bunch of British dudes who are all evil.
That's
sitting
all
around
I
a
thought.
table.
That's what I got out of that. I was like,
He's
oh,
a
yeah.
good evil British dude.
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to be the spy at first. Like they even give him that shot where like he's by himself and the light is across his eyes and like, oh, he's up to no good. He's actually up to no good because he's just evil.
Yeah, I think we're meant to think that could be the spy because he's the new guy and shit. I thought it was funny when Hux is like, "I'm the spy," almost like the whole audience goes, "What the fuck?"
He just wants to be recognized. Like I did it.
One of my favorite lines in the movie was like right up front where they're playing chess with Chewie. And they're like, he cheats, and he gets all shitty. He's like, "Rrr," and they're like, of course you're fucking. He goes, you're 250 years old. Of course you're better than us. I fucking love that. That made me laugh. It's just fucking funny enough and shit in a Star Wars movie. What else did I absolutely love? I loved seeing. Did you see Wicket had a kid?
Oh.
Wicket the Ewok had his own fucking Wicket Jr. and shit, and they just like, he was like, I saw this fucking 30 years ago and shit. They just keep killing this empire, man. I guess they didn't need our help this time. They even let the Ewoks come back. The only one that didn't come back, though, was fucking Jar Jar, man. When the Ewoks make it back and Jar Jar don't make it back, that's fucking strange. But yes, I thought that was a nice little fan service nod. I thought seeing Chewie getting the award was fucking nice. Wedge in the battle, seeing him pop up was nice. Look, that fucking lightsaber fight between the two, I don't know how the fuck they shot that. Like where it looks like they're fighting on top of something with water hitting them and shit. I mean, I know we're in a business where they made Thanos and shit, but I was just looking at that going, what part of that's real and what part of it's not? It's fairly seamless. What's with the mask thing, man? Like fucking first, he's got it in a cool collector kit. Like when he opens it up and shit. Like when you open up your Sideshow collectible. And then later on, he puts it on a fucking collectible stand and shit.
Well,
And
it's
then she
easier to
breaks
masturbate to if it's not in the fucking collectible thing.
True.
If it's just always in view.
Leans against the pole. One day. What'd you think of his arc? His 3 movies about his arc, from bad to good.
I dug it. I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't that much of a fan of him kind of regressing to I need a boss and then I'm going to kill that boss. But actually now the boss is going to offer me something cool, so that's cool. I need a super evil boss, so I don't feel that bad about being evil. I wanted his...
Sounds like you were in the writer's room.
I want his redemption to be a little bit like I wanted it to be bigger than Vader's to a certain degree because it's the same sort of thing, right? Like Vader turns, kills the Emperor, and then he dies, and like nobody but Luke knows that his father had turned back, that we got Anakin Skywalker back. And the
Same
moment
here. Nobody knows that he turned.
I know, but I wanted them to.
Oh.
I wanted the person who gets on fucking Poe's headset and says, I got everybody, to be Kylo Ren. I wanted that to be Ben Solo. Because he disappears from the drama. Once he leaves, talking to his dad, and he's gone until he's like, I'm going to run back to this shitty planet, and I'm going to fight the Knights of Ren, who nobody cares about, but whatever, and I'm going to stand side to side by this girl and fight more people, which I did in the last movie, so whatever.
He's like, I had to stop out a mall, went to Chess King, bought this fucking nice sweater and shit. Not as nice as Chris Evans and Knives Out, but fuck him, man. So Here we go. Let's do this. That was so funny, man. Like suddenly he's in. Oh, those are his good boy clothes.
Still
Those are his
black.
Sunday church clothes.
Yeah,
and shit.
still black, but a nice knit.
I'm done rebelling. I'm done wearing my emo blacks, Ma. It was like when my kid put away her black clothing, and she was like, "Now I'm wearing bright clothing." I was like, "Oh, he grew up."
But if Ben Solo brings the rescue fleet, if Ben Solo was because who the hell need like Lando? So you go talk to everybody. I'm gonna go talk to everybody, and then he talks to everybody. It's all off screen. It's all who gives a shit.
Right.
But if Ben Solo shows up, shows that he's been redeemed by bringing the fleet that rescues the rebellion.
Yeah.
Like, and then everybody has to
That is
wrestle
good.
with like, oh
and
shit.
it's better than like, hey, he showed up to save her, at the end, which is kind of what he does. He don't though, because
Yeah.
the Emperor beats them both. But like,
And she doesn't need his help.
she doesn't. She's fucking the most powerful fucking Jedi in the world. She got all
just
those
needs to
voices
reconnect with the
inside her.
Jedi, and now she does. So, like, he's ornamental in that scene. So you give him something to do. You give the characters around him somebody to respond to. It's fucking that guy. That guy saved our asses.
Right.
Like, and
It'd
then
be amazing they didn't get the information that he turned. They're like, blast him out of the sky. Fucking it ends tragic.
But I bought you all of these ships and Popeye chicken sandwiches. How could you kill me? We all went through the drive-thru. That's why it took us so long.
Yeah, I could see you're right in your theory of like Lando being the guy that brings the fleet. I'm like, right the fuck on, because he fucking saved the day in Jedi. And you're like, and that's the problem, is that they're still telling you the old story as opposed to the new story, which would be like Kylo figured this shit out and he's the hero and stuff.
You could also have him kick Lando out of the pilot's seat of the Millennium Falcon and have him sit next to Chewbacca.
They could fucking all be there. He's better than you.
Yeah. Although I would have to think that Chewie would pulp that motherfucker's head if he tries to do that.
I know. Somebody better let Chewie know that he turned, otherwise Chewie's gonna be like, rip his fucking arms off. Dude's like, oh my god, it's true.
Rey could force heal them back. Wolverine them back.
Well, the Emperor grew his fingers back. Like they kept showing his bony, broken ass fingers. and
Because
shit.
they are a dyad of the Force.
He was like, now I'll take both your power and juice up and shit. But they didn't turn into husks or anything. He just took a bunch of force out of them. They just passed out and stuff. What do you think about him living through the destruction of the Death Star? Like, I saw that shit. It was vaporized. I didn't see no big chunk falling down to Endor or anything like that.
I think it does a little bit of disservice in a weird way. For a movie that feels so much about fan service, it does the ultimate fan disservice by rendering Anakin Skywalker's sacrifice null and void.
Oh my God. I knew you would have a hot take on it, and I knew one person would applaud it.
You're right! I got you, man!
What do you mean? Explain.
Because Anakin Skywalker, like, once Darth Vader is sort of redeemed by his son,
Yes.
kills the fucking Emperor. Like, this was the signal of my being over and done with all the shit. I will kill myself to kill that dude and save my son and all the people that he loves, including, the other daughter who I don't talk to that much.
Right.
And so by like, oh no, I didn't die. It's like, but the dude killed you. Like, he killed himself to kill you. It's like, nah, fuck it, you're back. I'm back. I don't die.
I'm only mostly dead.
Yeah. It's just like,
I'll go with it. At first, I was like, "How do you live through that?" But you know what? We did see Leia do the Carrie Poppins through midair after she got blown out the sky in the last movie. So there's precedent. Maybe that's what he did. He just floated. Fucking
I mean, it's
down.
all fucking space magic, so anything is possible.
And what I like
illusion
about
is he's a clone, which you also then get the Hobbit goes right off the bat. He's like, "Well, clones." Moving on.
Wait, what?
Dominic in the movie, when they're like, Palpatine's back, he's like, yeah, cloning. He literally says something along the lines of, yeah,
The
cloning.
Hobbit fucking throws that out
like
there
right
and
at the
shit?
beginning, and then that, you just go with
Did
that.
you get that?
Nope. I mean, you see a bunch of Snoke bodies. He's like, I made
I
Snoke.
saw. Yeah, I saw the Snoke bodies.
Yeah,
but-
I think the illusion is cloning technology. And then Dominic kind of like references cloning in relation to Palpatine.
So what is the idea? The idea is he put his consciousness in a new body?
Yeah. Like he
Why?
cloned
If you were going to
himself.
grow a new body, why the fuck would you use that body? It's all busted and fucking, it's got no legs, half fingers and shit. I'd be like, can I get a new model?
Well, I think like for people who've done the EU, that was a EU story. that the Emperor cloned himself and thus kind of lives forever.
So he had always had like a closet full of clones. So just in case
Waiting.
he died,
Yeah,
he would,
waiting.
like up.
And they're all busted and broken like he is. So much so that he's like, I need to suck your force juice.
And it's only
rebuild his
been
body.
like 30 years. Like,
yeah, I
like-
didn't get that. I got the distinct impression that we're meant to believe that that is the fucking Emperor who was standing on the Return of the Jedi of Death Star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why would a clone be fucking busted up and ruined, man? That's a broke-ass clone. Yeah, I guess. What is it?
Snow.
Snoke.
Yeah, I kind of took it as Snoke was like a failed version, like he's trying to get himself right.
Is that what you got out of that? Did you get that? I
mean,
like
it-
your Star Wars, man.
It could just, I mean, that's Dark Empire comic book
Right.
from 20 years ago.
I really fall. I know this is probably I should let it go because it's a movie about fucking magic and space. But like, he can't be a clone with busted fingers. Like, who the fuck? What kind of badass, terrible clone is that? I mean, I would have taken Snoke's body. He looked pretty fucking good, you know, until
I
they
mean,
cut him in
unless
half.
literally all of the clone bodies were kept on the Death Star, and so most of them fucking died, and that's the only one that survived the fire. Maybe,
I like your Star Wars movie, man.
Maybe. But then, like, how do you also get like a billion Sith in that fucking like Sith concert chamber?
What the fuck was that about?
Like, we've all just
thought-
been hanging out.
I was like, well, I guess somebody had to build the ships and shit, but like, holy fuck. I'm like, they're fuck the First Order. There's the army right there, man. All these dudes in hoods and shit.
we are gathering our strength here in this fucking pit of doom.
We're gonna stand around and have an eyes wide shut orgy, motherfuckers. In a Star Wars movie. What is it?
They were the spirits of the Sith.
They were
not actually
spirits?
there.
God damn it. What am I missing? Like, did they say that in the movie? Were they, but they
Yeah.
were killed by falling rocks in the end because they were running. It wasn't real? Why would you run? Makes as much sense as giving a clone busted fingers, man. Like, I don't know. I thought they were supposed to be real in there. Where'd you get the ghost thing? That's what I got. Is they were part of the Sith cult, like thuggy cult. They were always there, though. From the moment you see him, they don't show you the other side of the room, and then suddenly they do, and they're all fucking there. Did you get that?
I think there's a scene you want to have in that movie that isn't in that movie.
Yeah, I mean, I've
'Cause it's
watched
just
it
like-
4 times, and the first time I didn't catch where they came from, but the second time I was really looking, and I saw like, oh, they're all there. They've been them waiting and shit. They're just real quiet. They're like, shh. Let him do his speech. All right, now.
Yeah, Daddy's talking. Shh. I am sober as fuck, and that didn't make any sense to me at all.
That's the only way I was cool with all those people is I was like, well, they must have built all the Star Destroyers. Because then again, you know, maybe it's meant to be him and he's just like magic.
And then again, that's like 5,000 dudes, like at a shipyard. Like, how long does it take 5,000 people to build 10,000 Star Destroyers?
Oh my God, this is like, you know, could God make a boulder big enough that he can't lift it over his head kind of question. I can't answer that.
3D printing.
3D printing.
Yeah.
I always just took that you know, the whole Imperial fleet wasn't on Endor at the end of Return of the Jedi. The Emperor's got his private garage. I just figured that was
Me too.
private
It's
garage
not like
Star
they-
Destroyers.
Yeah.
But I,
Just like Jay Leno.
whose fingers
Can't
are
kill
also-
him either. He's also a clone, I believe. I too was never like, boy, they beat everybody in that one movie. Like, you know, they had ships elsewhere and shit. But without, you know, the Emperor and without a Darth Vader, it's not like anyone else wants to take over. So you kill the figurehead and you figure it's all over.
Yeah. I mean, it's like looking for those logic things to work in a space magic movie is like, whatever. Like, A, they have space magic. B, like, it's the time travel in Endgame.
Right.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't hold together. It does what the movie needs it to do because it's space magic. So, fine, whatever. But I just like, who is this guy? Why is he? If he's a clone, that's weird. Now we're actually bringing science into the space magic. Why isn't he just a dude who hasn't died before? Like you thought you saw me die. I didn't. I'm in a Scooby-Doo mystery, and I'm back.
They needed to keep shit Baby Yoda simple. This could have just been 2 hours of Return of fucking The Rise of Skywalker, and everyone would have been like, it's amazing.
Look at it.
He just keeps eating soup, that little fucker, man. We talked about it a bunch. Let's open it up to the audience. Now, everyone who talks about it, we're not doing Q&A. I can't answer for this movie, and really neither can Marc, apparently.
Yeah,
so
I'll just
we
make it
want to
better.
hear what you guys think. You heard us talk about the movie, so give us your review and tell us like the shit you liked, or if you want to improve it, feel free and stuff. We got 9 things to give away. 10?
Ish.
Oh shit, we got a bunch of games. All right, yeah, no, we got a bunch of things to give away. All right, so we'll start with a figure of 10 because we've got 5 sets of tickets from the good folks at 4DX, and if you're looking to watch a movie in 4DX, which I can't tell you enough, you have to do before you leave this world, man. Fucking see all the modern wonders of the ancient world and fucking go see a 4DX movie. It's a great presentation. And I imagine with this movie, well, since the crawl happens, the seat will lean back and shit, and then you'll fly around. It's going to be a good time. So if you win these tickets, you can get to go see a 4DX movie.
You're going to be soaking wet on that like lightsaber battle scene.
Yes.
Just water everywhere. And other reasons, I don't know, depending.
And if
On
you
your
don't win
proclivity
that,
towards wetness.
you might win a Jay and Silent Bob Smell My Finger game. From the good folks at Playstorm. That's right, Smell My Finger, man. My mom is incredibly proud. And if not, you'll win another game, Jay and Silent Bob's Big Fat Cardon game. Also from the good folks at Playstorm, man. All right, so what's your name, young camper?
My name is Sebastian.
Everyone give it up for Sebastian. He's first. Sebastian, the floor is yours. This is a safe place, a safe space. Feel free to tell us what you thought about The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay, so the biggest thing I think, I mean, if anyone wants to agree with, but I always wanted to see somebody building their lightsaber, and we get the very end of Rey showing her gold lightsaber, which hopefully was a double-bladed lightsaber, but like, why could we have just not seen that? Like,
So wait,
just-
that lightsaber that she had, that
it was
her
made out of her
own?
staff.
It's made out of her staff.
Yeah.
It looked like it. I've watched the movie, like I said, 4 times. And at one point, I was like, is that meant to be like, did she have Palpatine's fucking lightsaber? Because it turned in a different way, but I guess it's made out of her staff.
It was made out of her staff, which makes sense. I mean, she
Yeah,
was
that's
holding
kinda
that
dope.
for 3 movies and
Which
stuff
means it might have to be double-sided, like fucking
I mean,
Darth
she
Maul, which
only
means maybe she
exhibited-
is Sith after all.
What does
Part
the
of
gold lightsaber signify, right? Isn't there different classes? There's like Jedi Knight.
Yeah.
What is it?
Sentinel
Great
is
Sentinel.
gold, yeah.
Okay.
They're like the warriors of the Jedi. And
Cool,
stuff.
cool.
And so it would have just made sense to just see one quick scene of just her at least putting that together and building her badass gold lightsaber.
So you would have liked to have seen that, but what did you think of the movie itself?
Oh, the movie was exactly how you guys said it. Like it hit everything close to home. Like for me, it was as to my closest recollection, it was the first movie I've ever seen, and for Star Wars: A New Hope, and it just seeing that finally together made it. And even with everything that we had to say, like I agree with everything that can be said about it. It still was worth seeing it, and it was a good, nice, sweet tie to the end of the saga.
I agree. I believe they tied it up like, look, they tied it up better than I ever could. That was what I sat there going like, I fucking would have thought of that. I wouldn't have thought of that and stuff. But yeah, I thought they tied it up. What did you, and so that's your review, thumbs up, thumbs down?
Oh, I give it a thumbs up with a little bit of maybe tilt towards the middle and stuff like that. But it makes sense. Like there was so much that they had to do within one movie. I mean, yeah, sure, it'd have been great to see in episode 10, but like it makes sense.
I'd never thought of that. You're right. Let's take an episode fucking 10.
Yeah, nice even 10.
That is a fucking winning question or winning review. Not only do you get the tickets, you also get a bumper sticker from Nate, man. Nate's bumper sticker, signed by me and Marc. Well done, Captain. All right, who's going next? Who's got something to say about this movie? Got to get it off their chest. What's your name?
Adam.
Everyone give it up for Adam. He's next.
I enjoyed the movie.
Right
I was
on.
one of those people that liked The Last Jedi. For the first 30 minutes of Rise of Skywalker, I was like, wow, this is a really good Indiana Jones film, where they're going to different places and the relics and all that stuff. The one thing I was a little bit more disappointed was like the Falcon, like who gets to own the Falcon at the end of the movie. You see Poe driving it, you see Lando, and I think it ends up with Rey at the end. That was kind of the one thing I was just like,
It does. It winds up with Rey. She takes it to Tatooine. It lands like a few feet from the.
Yeah, and that was the one thing I was really looking forward to. I'm like, oh, I wonder who gets to keep the Falcon now. That Chewie can keep it, make him his own pilot, like the own captain.
Give it to fucking Chewie. Yeah, man. Like fucking, he's like, fuck the metal. Give me the ship.
Yeah, like have him have his own crew or something like that. But also, I was like, at the end of the movie, I was like, wow, they had a lot of like C-3PO in here. Like he was his own like major thing for the whole portion of the movie. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm still right. Last Jedi is one of my favorites, personally.
Yeah, Last Jedi ages well. I think some people still hate it online and stuff, but it's got some cool shit in it. Again, I'll always feel like, and it's not their fault. Carrie Fisher passed away after they made that movie and stuff, but I still think sticking her in the chair would have been like, oh, it makes that movie unbelievably classic.
What was his name? Akbar? At the end.
Akbar, that was my second. Like, at least give me Akbar, somebody I grew up with and shit, so that I could really care. Although doesn't take away from the fact that that's an amazing scene, and still one of the best moments in like any Star Wars film. Yeah. Watching that thing go light speed through the fucking Star Destroyer, oh, it was awesome. Is that all you got?
That was it, yeah. Thank you.
You win, man. Give it up for him. He got it. Pleasure, man. Oh.
No.
My bad. Thank you. I went late. All right, where are we going next? What's your name?
Steel.
Steel. Give it up for Steel, everybody.
I sort of got the feeling it was written based around not what people loved about seeing in the sequel trilogy, but around what people would have loved seeing in the sequel trilogy. It was really focused on original trilogy, but I've just got the thing that really sort of really took me out of it was the Palpatine reveal. And just what that changes about the first two films and about the last 4 years of Star Wars fandom was how many people, like the myth of Kevin Smith, it'll tie in, is like, I'm sure you have got thousands of stories of people coming up to you and going, oh, I got into filmmaking because I heard your story.
Yes.
And you were just in New Jersey and you just ran up your credit cards and you came from nothing. And that gave me the belief that I could do whatever I wanted to do as well. And I sort of got the feeling, or not the feeling, but know that a lot of people were inspired by Rey for that same thing. And it kind of feels like that it comes out later on that Kevin Smith
eliminates that.
Well, Kevin Smith's grandma fucked Harvey Weinstein, and that's...
Wait, before or after we made Clerks? But I think I follow you.
It feels like whether you're a real person or Ray's a real person.
I'll be honest with you, did not expect to hear his name tonight of all nights, but you made it work, kinda. Although my grandmother's fucking spinning in her grave.
There's a lot of spitting on graves this week. The dead speak. I sort of feel like for people that believed in that for 4 years, it was sort of taken away. And I bring up your story because I'm
Wait,
sure...
for 4 years you believed it on the first movie too?
Yeah, I loved...
You didn't think they were setting it up for like, she gonna be related to somebody fucking important?
To be honest, I didn't think that'd be that hacky. I thought that like the first one was about like Luke Skywalker was connected to that, and then this time the thing is like she actually did come from nothing and save the galaxy. So I'm just wondering if that sort of reference to your life and how you've inspired people sort of changes your opinion of that reveal.
It absolutely does. Put through that prism, I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, that would be That would be weird. But again, I'm there for fan service, so they say, she's related to Palpatine. I'm like, oh, he was in the other movies. All right. Rather than like, she's not related to anybody, which I think is a compelling idea and a brave idea, but like an idea that I still bump into. I'm like, I gotta believe we took the journey with this kid for a reason. Like, the first journey we took is with Luke Skywalker, and then they fucking told us about Luke's dad and shit, and how Luke got there and stuff. And it should feel like this trilogy deals with the effects of a Skywalker somewhere, and they kind of do and stuff. So I guess, like Marc said, they take care of that with Kylo Ren, and I should have been happy with that. But like at the same time, I'm like, I wanted her to be related to somebody. But you guys are really selling me on the idea of her being a nobody. Like, you're right. I hadn't thought about it like that through my own personal prism.
And I think that, like...
Thank you for making it about me. Now I can understand it.
The thing we all fell in love with, the first thing we all fell in love with, was A New Hope, was Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And in that movie, Luke Skywalker is just a fucking kid from nowhere, from the furthest spot of any place important in the galaxy, and he saves everybody. And that myth... That myth, which is a little bit of an American myth, it's a little bit of a immigrant myth to a certain degree, that you can come from nothing and be something great, is powerful. It's also a little bit of the Harry Potter kind of flips it to a certain degree, which is, yes, you're the kid who lives under the stairs, but you actually come from something great. And they're both attractive, and they're both lovely and wonderful. But I think that there was room to have more of the, you're just some fucking kid. And you know what? Some fucking kid can do amazing things.
Yeah, it's like a cynical view of it is like, especially in 2019, is you can achieve anything if you're related to someone important.
My God, that is the unspoken lesson of that movie and shit.
Yeah, you don't want this to be like the rise of nepotism. Which it really...
Hold on, I got to call my daughter, who's the star of my latest film.
Which it kind of
And
is.
maybe that's why I'm comfortable with it. I'm like, no, she should be related to somebody. She better be. But you're right. It is actually a far more powerful idea, and that's what Ryan was doing, wasn't he? Just going like, having fucking Kylo Ren be like, you're nobody. You have nothing to do with this shit. Who the fuck do you think you are? And, her becoming that thing, even though she's not entitled to it.
Yeah.
That is a more compelling
To the
idea.
point where Ryan ends that movie with some fucking stable boy kid, like, holding up a broom like it's a lightsaber. Like, we all can be something great.
It bugged me when I saw it, but now I actually kind of think I like that ending. But, it didn't give me the ending I wanted, which is like, they're all sitting somewhere and But that's the thing. That movie did not deliver on expectation, and because of it, is surprising at every turn. Force Awakens is surprising because it's back. Who knew? Holy shit, you could do this. He's back. This is fucking great. And then The Last Jedi was like, now this is what you could do with a Star Wars movie. You could break it and do weird shit and fucking do this. And guess what? This doesn't mean this anymore. And then this one feels like it just, it gave us some new shit where it's like, now you can, because of the Force, you can hand somebody something across a galaxy, which I guess plays into... Nah, I don't know. I was going to say, doesn't it play into him giving her the dice? But those dice disappear, don't they? Who? What do you mean? What? In this movie, but I mean in Last Jedi, Luke gives Leia the dice.
Yeah.
And then
they disappear
later on, so they weren't really
Which
there.
also, to your point before about the holdo remover, if they change that out, then we'd all be sort of like going, did you know they had a scene with Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia and they edited it out of the film? Do you know what I mean? So that's why I was always like, you've got to keep it going because I want to see Carrie and Marc with
That's
that
a good
scene.
point. That's a good point. If she dies in that ship, then you don't get that scene with Luke.
At
Unless
face value, it makes
you
sense.
get it earlier where she's like on the ship and he's like, don't do this. And there's your scene. Right? I'm making a better one now, now. Together, we're making a great Star Wars movie. But you see how it takes a fucking village, man?
Yeah.
Feels like on this they could have done one more, like, everybody sit in the room and let's talk about this and come up with cool fucking ideas.
I don't know. On this one, it sort of feels like it took a message board.
Yeah.
Like, it just seems like a real...
They honestly feel like they checked a lot, like boxes, made sure like they tried to make everybody happy.
To Marc's thing
Which
about
is
what
a
he
good
wanted
thing, I
was
think.
something that you always wanted that you didn't know. And that's Adam. Like, I was shocked. Adam Driver being Ben Solo, like, he's such a good actor. The way he changed, and like Lucasfilms tried to give us a new a new Han Solo many times, from Dash Rendar to Han Solo to Poe Dameron, but the way he became young Harrison Ford with the look and just that shrug.
When he gets the lightsaber, he's like,
Oh my God.
Very,
Like,
very Han
I didn't know
Solo.
I wanted that, but I was like, he was amazing. Like, he's like Star Wars is great, but he's like too good an actor for Star Wars, and we were we were lucky to have him. He was great.
Star Wars is filled with actors who are a little too good for Star Wars.
he is fucking great in that fucking movie, man. That's JJ brought him to the party. That's a JJ find. I mean, he must have seen him on Girls.
I thought that was actually a Kathleen Kennedy.
She brought him in?
Yeah.
Because she was like a big Girls fan? Where'd she see him? Somebody told me later on, Jen Houston, who cast Cop Out. Like, we were talking about something, and I was like, fucking, goddamn it, that Adam Driver kid's amazing. She's like, he came in on Cop Out. And I was like, well, he dodged a fucking bullet, didn't he? He's got a huge career now. He's
I think Kathleen eyed him for it, and JJ sold him on it with the arc of Kylo Ren. So I think there's she sort of chose him, and then JJ gave him the pitch that won him over to do it.
He's like, it'll be cool, I swear.
Yeah.
At one point, you're gonna fucking mellow out and wear fucking casual clothing. But until then, emo all the way, man. You're gonna goth the fuck out of
You'll
this.
get to kiss this hot unknown girl from England. It's gonna be the best.
Once, that's it. They brought back the Knights of Ren just for like a boy band shot. Like they were with arms wide open. It looked like Creed for a second. They were just standing on a cliff. And they were fucking circling them and shit, and they were all just like this.
Now, the Knights are those the other students who left Luke's academy?
No.
Then
No.
who are
They're
the Knights?
not?
No, they are.
They're just some bad boys he's collected. That's his gang, right?
Yeah, I think there's a comic where Luke and, although the comics have, this comic's already contradicted by the movie, but there's a comic that came out this week that Luke and Kylo come across them on a mission, and there's, I think, a seventh Knight of Ren that is not in the film. So I guess at the end of the comics, he gets and Kylo Ren takes over. But he was around before the Knights of Ren
We're
were
around before him.
Yeah.
And then he joined their club, and then he eventually kills them all.
He ran the club.
He ran the club,
ran
and
the
then
club.
closed the club rather dramatically.
Yeah, but it's sort of weird. I felt like the movie was
Could you imagine if you're those guys and you're like, we were fucking boys. Why you kill? Where's your fucking black gear? Where's your mask? Where'd that sweater come? Ah! So
Come on,
many
Pony Boy.
questions before you leave
Don't
the
fuck it
world.
up, Pony Boy. Fuck, you fucked it up.
I felt like the film was like listening to a podcast in 1.5 and then skipping forward a minute every 5 minutes. And I felt like there was a lot of interesting things, because you were talking about the start, the montage. There was another 10 minutes before that where Kylo Ren went to an oracle that sort of explained to him what to do.
What?
Yeah.
How do you know this?
Because I'm at the camp, this is
Oh, right,
where
right.
people like me come.
So wait, there was more, and that did go away.
Yeah.
So somebody was like, "This is boring, man. Get right to the shit," where he starts killing people.
Well, I don't know. It seems like they wanted to cut it down when they should have just gone.
Made it be Avengers long.
Let it be 3 hours.
My son felt it was longer than Endgame was.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. He was like, that felt long. I was like, it's 2 hours and 20-something minutes. He's like, it felt long.
Maybe with the right information added, it wouldn't have felt as long. Like if they expanded some shit, then explained some shit. All right, you win, man. Do you want tickets or a game?
I'll take tickets.
Tickets there are fucking thank you. Give him up. He won, man. Your Snoke theory sucked. That's awesome.
You don't want your stroke theory to suck.
No. And it's done in the Kenner font, man. That makes me so happy. That's the blue font of a happy childhood right there. Okay, what do we got, JC?
Hey, man.
Hi, what's your name?
First of all, Steel Wars, everybody. I really like the film, even
What's your
though
name?
I had.
Hold on, you're going too
I'm
fast.
Keith.
What is it?
Keith.
Key.
Yes.
Key? Give it up for Key, everybody. Key's here. Now go.
I liked the film, even though I had a lot of issues with it. One of the reasons why I liked it, I think, is because I had lower expectations due to Last Jedi. I am a Last Jedi apologist. I would tell people to still go watch it and watch it again because there was still a lot of really good things in it. Some of the
In
things
Last
that we,
Jedi.
Correct.
Yeah, I agree.
Some of the things that we even disagreed with, I think that made it better. But there were still quite a few issues, and so again, that's one of the reasons why I was able to like this film even more. With that said, I still felt like this movie had too many Marvel hands on it.
Ooh, explain.
When Poe is giving that Captain America speech,
All right.
it took me out of the movie. It was no longer Star Wars. I wasn't watching a Star Wars movie.
Why?
I was
Well, now,
watching a
but to
Disney
be
movie.
fair, long before Captain America, they've been doing speeches in movies to rally people and shit.
No, I agree, but not in Star Wars.
Right.
Can you name a Star Wars one that did that?
Now, generally, it's just like, here's how you blow up a fucking thing. And they're like, let's
Yeah,
blow up a
exactly.
fucking thing.
You were in front of the screen. They were showing you like the map, like this is how we're gonna do it. And in this one, it was just like Marvel. They were doing the montage as he was speaking.
Right.
And so to me, that was a Marvel
I mean,
producer.
to be fair, Rogue One has a pretty good speech.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Except that they took out the whole crawl, so it's not part of the 9 at this point.
Right.
Even though I love that one more than the last 2 or 3. Yeah, so I felt like it was very much washed in Marvel hands. Also, I have to point it out. I thought it was hilarious to see Kylo Ren doing the Michael Jackson moonwalk at the very beginning of the scene of the movie. When
Lots of feet sliding.
Oh, he
Yeah.
did the spin and they
starts
slid
doing
backwards.
killing people. And I was just like,
Yeah, he
Michael
Barry
Jackson.
Allened
Yes.
into it. He was like
Very
fucking
much so.
backwards. I saw
Zooped
that.
in there.
He did. He kind of zooped right in. Well remembered. Yeah, man. It was. Wait, what was your first issue? What was the first thing you brought up? I had something
He's
to
an
say
apologist for Last Jedi.
Apologist for Last
Right.
Jedi. No, it's not that. It's kind of related, unrelated.
Oh,
What
sorry. I
like-
said I'm a apologist for the movie. Like I still liked it. I just had
Yeah.
issues with it.
Don't,
And the
and we
Marvel
don't,
hands.
nobody's got to apologize for this shit. Either people like it or they don't like it and stuff. It's that simple. Movies are subjective. It's that simple. But that being said, what I did, one thing I was okay with Palpatine being alive was because the Sith are always about like, we want to cheat death. Power is in living forever. Even, not fucking understanding that the body fucking rots, so like that's why the Emperor looks the way he does. It's like you can live forever, but you're eventually just gonna be like fucking husk and shit like that. Jedi understood that like the true power lies in what's beyond. That's staying connected to this corporal world. You'll never know the true power. Remember, Ben Kenobi says, if you strike me down, I will become more powerful than you could possibly imagine. Because a Sith can only imagine like extending this life. That's why a motherfucker will hang out in a cave with busted fingers, because he's like, at least I'm alive, man. Everyone else I know is fucking dead.
He reminded me of
fucking
Mojo.
Jedi get to live forever because they pass over into that next place and then they fucking force ghosted up for the rest of their lives. What were you saying?
I said he reminded me of Mojo.
Ojo?
Marvel. X-Men?
Mojo. Oh, fucking who did?
You did apparently.
Palpatine.
Palpatine remind you of
Palpatine.
Mojo. Yeah, he's got no legs. He's just kind of floating around and shit like that. Well, they got him hooked up to a, you have been chosen, crane and shit like that. That was a great question. What do you want, game or tickets?
Tickets.
Well done. Pick those tickets, man. Come get them. Give it up for him. Bang, bang. And bang, you take those. Goddamn pleasure. All right, what's your name, young lady?
Hi, I'm Abby.
Abby, give it up for Abby. She's next.
Hey!
I just wanted to go back to what you said about the end of the movie when all of these spaceships from everywhere came in. I think the important distinction is that they didn't know them, because one of the things that the enemy does, and this is sort of repeated in other things like Harry Potter, is that they try to make you feel like you're alone. Mm-hmm. And the important distinction is that you're not alone. There are people out there that are going through the same thing and want to strive to be where, beat the enemy, and you're not alone. And I think that's the point of it. I also feel like it kind of sheds a light or a mirror on our society. All good sci-fi does that. So it kind of reflects our state of the union right now and how we're so divided. And it actually says, hey, you're not alone. You're not the only one that feels this way. It's not just all bad. There are good people out there, and if we, come together, we can beat the enemy. And I think that's the important distinction of that.
I got that too. Yeah, it's nice. Your thoughts on
No, I agree with that sentiment. I still think you could have put a face on that would have been more emotional for us as an audience. Like the sheer magnitude of it is cool, but then you need that emotional crux at the middle of it. And Lando doesn't do that for those characters. So, yes, absolutely. There could be a fucking rescue cavalry that shows up. I just wanted, our characters to give a shit about who that was who showed up. And I think...
It also felt like a Ryan correction scene as well. Because, in Last Jedi, they're like, we called for everybody. Nobody's coming. And you're like, Jesus Christ, man. This rebellion is small. But in this movie, they're like, everybody's here!
Yay, we got snacks!
Yes.
And I think that to your point, I think there's also a way for this movie, or even Star Wars in general, to focus a little bit on that unification, right? Like so much of this has always been about there's a dark side of the Force and the light side of the Force. And you can choose to follow one side or the other. The dark side is more powerful, the light side is more pure, whatever that is. But in Rey, you could have had this character who's like, I am a Palpatine, and I'm also a Jedi, and I am all of it. Like, the dark side, the light side, all of that is bullshit. The Force is the Force is the Force. You do with it what you're going to do with it. Be a good person. Do good things. And I think there's a way to unify in that sentiment. That, just because you're born one thing, maybe I'm a Palpatine, maybe you're a fucking farmer from nowhere, maybe you're a little kid who's working in stables, you can all be great. Absolutely. And I think there was, if you're going to be thematic about it, that was a slightly missed opportunity for me.
I agree with that. I think they could definitely have done more with, showing all shades of being a Jedi and what that means. And it's about your choices, not just your power.
Right.
Yeah.
You had a smart statement. It created another smart statement. You win shit. You want tickets or a game?
Tickets, please.
Tickets, there you go, man. Give it up for her. She won. Well done. Who we got next? What's your name, Captain?
David.
Everyone give it up for David. All we got left are games, David.
So first of all, I gave it an 8.5. I think
8.5
the
out of
reason
10?
it was so high is because I saw it at 40X.
You saw it in 40X?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that, David.
I think my favorite part was when they were in Kylo's ship.
Yeah.
The Falcon came up and blew everyone back. And when that happened, all the fans
Yeah,
kicked
wherever
in.
all the fucking goes, and then Kylo does
Yeah.
this shit, which I thought was metal. So what happened?
All the fans kicked in, and the seats started going back. I was like, holy shit. Kevin wasn't fucking around when it said,
Right?
"Don't blow me."
I'm telling you, man, that's fucking awesome.
Man,
What
don't
else
lie.
did you go backwards for the crawl?
Yeah.
And then what else what was the other standout? What about, like he said, when they were fighting on the thing, was there a lot of water spitting in your face?
Yeah, there was.
Did they really?
Yeah, it was dope.
Oh my God, man! They're like, you're getting a facial. That's all right. So that's a good review. Go see it in 40X.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So, but you give it an 8.5. Do you have other things to say about it?
Out of 10?
Out of 10, yeah. I do have problems with it. And one of my biggest problems was when you hear the Jedi's voices, there's this voice that I kind of recognized. It said, bring balance to the Force like I did.
Yeah.
And I
Who
looked
was
it
that?
up. It was Anakin. I was like, fuck you. Like, what the,
Yeah, they got Hayden Christensen
like,
back.
what the fuck?
So your
You're the one who
your
broke in the
objection
first
was
place.
like, you didn't balance shit. You whiny little fuck.
Yeah.
Did he bring balance? He was the one that was supposed to bring balance to the Force.
He did.
Well,
he
he-
kills the Emperor. That's
Yeah.
the end of his story.
And then they undid that.
And they undid that.
So he's like, bring balance to the Force like I did. And she's like, the Emperor's alive. He's like, oh, fuck, you're
God
kidding.
damn it.
Well, what was my whole story arc? Fuck!
I'll go sit over there. There's sand in places I don't like. It's so uncomfortable.
Do you think, do you think they got Hayden Christensen?
They did, yeah. He's in the credits.
Did they get Jake Lloyd?
No, I think they went with Hayden. But they also went with.
Oh! Oh! That was a laser sharp Star Wars burn from the crowd. Somebody said, I think the cops got Jake Lloyd. Woof. Oh. Very funny.
That's rough.
Very mean. Very funny. All right. Is that all you got? You don't need more.
I got one more.
Okay, good.
About the Ben and Leia situation that you guys were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because at the place I am in my life right now that my grandmother passed away just a month ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
But I feel like when she reached out to Ben, the whole movie was like, I can't go back. I already fucked up. I did so much bad shit. I can't go back to my mom.
Right. He even says that out
Yeah.
loud. He's like, you can't go back to her. I can't, just like I can.
Yeah. I feel like he believed that wasn't kind of true, but as soon as he felt that she's gone, he really couldn't go back anymore. So
wait, what would that mean?
that would mean that she connected herself to him.
Yes.
In order for him to realize that it was like a last call, like if your mom decided to call you like right before she passes away, and if you're like bickering with your siblings, you would stop completely, correct?
Right.
So I feel like that's what he felt, and then her connecting himself to him, it was like telling Ben, saying that it's not too late. I still feel like you can come back whenever you want.
Fucking A, that's beautiful. Well done. That is such a beautiful response. It's a shame to offer you the smell my finger game, but we got a big fat card on game or the smell my finger game. Which one do you want?
Smell my finger.
There you go, man. Give it up for him. Excellent job. Excellent fucking job.
Did somebody leave a 40X ticket back there?
Did they? Did somebody miss their 40X ticket? We got a spare 40X. Check whoever won your 40X. You left one behind. You've got one.
You're supposed to have two. You only got one.
Meantime, yeah, if it's you, come on, we can pass it over to you. What's your name, Captain?
My name's Kevin.
Kevin! Give it up for Kevin! How are you? Good seeing you again, sir.
It's good seeing you. I enjoyed the movie. Of
Yeah?
course. I did have a few thoughts.
Ooh, he's going through his notes.
Kevin busts out his list. He's like, I got a few thoughts.
It's no, it's not bad. But
Okay.
I thought Babu Frick was the Baby Yoda of the movie.
Babu Frick is
Babu
awesome.
Frick has not gotten any attention here yet or any love, but Babu Frick, I saw that scene getting shot when he fucking blows out C-3PO and C-3PO goes down. So I saw them, and that voice they were doing like on the set sounded exactly like, I'm sure they re-recorded and shit, but whoever was operating Babu Frick was also going like, well, the Babu Frick and shit and saying stuff. So when I saw the movie, I was like, surely they'll replace that. But they didn't. I was like, oh, that's fucking cute. But yeah, Babu Frick, his hey, and all that shit was kind of fun.
And then I was surprised that they promoted Finn and Poe when Lando's just chilling there, been the general for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly it does not require much to get a promotion to general in the Rebel Alliance. Like, fucking Han Solo was a general, and like he did one thing once.
Yeah.
It's like, you're a general, you're a general, and you're a general.
Everyone look under your seats.
You're a fucking general. It's like, I'm not like a lieutenant, maybe like a major. It's like a half step before I'm running shit. Nope.
They got rebel soldiers and nothing but generals.
A little top heavy in this army, aren't we?
And then when Rey could feel Kylo on the ship and Chewie on the ship, and then they have their battle, and he's trying to figure out where she is, and I'm like, she's holding the special Sith knife in your room. But she doesn't, he doesn't realize that until his grandfather's mask falls on the floor.
Yeah, there's weird shit where like he can reach through and grab a necklace from her and then take it, and then he's tracing her across the galaxy because she's
That was
in this
new.
place.
That was new.
Oh, sure, okay.
But I like that the celebration was 42 years as well as Star Wars.
Oh, is that what they
nice.
said? Oh,
Yeah.
that's kind of sweet. Oh, I was just lost in like, oh no, this is another one of those Matrix parties. Remember that? Fucking when all of a sudden they
Yeah,
were like,
yeah,
let's
with
dance
all
for a
the
half
dancing,
hour.
yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck.
Or like a Jeff Goldblum jam, like it's the Grandmaster, just like it's Hulk Day.
Who did? Lin-Manuel Miranda
Miranda.
did the music for that celebration scene.
No wonder I wanted to rise up. Underhand softballs all day.
We were all in the room where that happened.
But you got to be on screen for this one, not
Someday
just
there
the
will be more of
Stormtrooper
us.
voice.
I did actually get to be in it. If you, I'm a walk-on, technically a walk-on. When Poe is on Kijimi, and they're doing that nice tracking shot where he sees like the First Order stormtroopers knocking on doors and fucking harassing people and shit. As he crosses toward the gang to tell them like fucking they're everywhere. He passes like a dude walking and a robot walking, and I'm the dude walking next to the robot. And then when they go, yeah, it's fucking sweet.
So you're Silent Bob in the Star Wars
Pretty
movie?
much, yeah. Which is what JJ said on the day. He's just like, I was like, who's the dude? He goes, he's your J. And I was like, oh. So yeah, I'm the little kid who has always loved Star Wars and shit, and did a voice in Force Awakens. I got to actually be in it. Like when I watch a movie, I'm like, oh fucking, there's me and stuff.
And you got no lines in this one?
No lines.
Just like Marc in Reboot. Yeah.
Familiar with it?
He's got less lines than Silent Bob in Reboot.
That's true. Silent Bob spoke more than you. Yeah, but I got to be in it. It was very, very cool. The day I shot, if you look deep in the background, Chip Kidd is being harassed by a stormtrooper, and the stormtrooper is Jamie Oliver. Ed Sheeran was there that day. He was another stormtrooper and shit. Like, it was just, JJ's kind of brilliant because like everyone he meets, he's like, hey man, come be in Star Wars. Because they've got so many fucking extras. So people show up and he's like, put on a stormtrooper costume, and boom, they're in the fucking movie.
And also, you don't have to pay that many extras if you just get a bunch of famous people buying the stormtroopers.
That's true.
By the way,
I think I did get paid. I think I actually got paid. I think
Did
they
you?
had to pay me, yeah. I think I finally made some money off Star Wars, man. After giving them my money all this time and shit, I think they sent me a little scratch.
is it me or does stormtrooper armor actually get you killed faster than if you were just naked?
Yeah.
Like just balls out, running around. Like you might have a shot of not getting killed.
Truly.
But that armor does nothing. Like shot in the chest, where it's supposed to be the strongest. It just holes. What's the point?
No,
Just
Poe
to be
got shot in the
loud?
arm, he's fine. Everybody else just goes down.
that's true. The generals are safe.
I guess. There's so many of them.
Any more?
No.
Wonderful shit. You win
Thanks,
a game,
Kevin.
Kev. Come pick out your game. Which one is yours? Take your card out again. Good seeing you. All right, where are we going next, JC?
Who
What's your
belongs to
name?
this?
Susanna.
Everyone give it up for Susanna.
Hey,
Oh, hey.
how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good, yo.
good. So, I mean, I agree with you. It wasn't like the most amazing movie in the world. Probably not the most amazing Star Wars movie in the world, but I fucking loved it.
I
thought
loved
it
it
was
too,
so
yeah.
fun. It was such awesome fan service and good action, and Chewie got a medal, and Chewie broke down, and I broke down, and a lot of awesome things happened.
There were wonderful flourishes that made it worth the fucking journey, and I don't get to feel that way very often in a movie theater. And yes, like, did they do it as well as Endgame? Like, it doesn't matter as long as you feel. Well, the short answer is no. But like but I felt like good enough. Like, hey, shit, that rocks in its own unique way and stuff. Like, I got exactly what I wanted, what I paid for, and I felt good about it.
You know.
Well, no, I agree. I feel like the little kid in me who watched these flicks with my pops was just so fucking happy. Like, it was so satisfying. But talking about unexpected things that I wouldn't have seen coming and that really resonated with me, I thought one of the most emotionally powerful scenes was the conversation between the two child soldiers, talking about how they didn't know who they were. They had been stolen. They were brought up in this thing that they didn't believe in, that they were going to get killed if they tried to defect. And I thought that was so unexpected. Like, talk about things I didn't expect Star Wars to delve into, but are really resonant right now and are a thing that should be talked about. I kind of, in retrospect, wanted a little more of that.
Right.
And I just felt in sort of like social commentary that was really powerful.
I think that was handled. I mean, I think you're right. Like a little bit more would have been nice, but it was handled with a deft touch. And my biggest criticism of The Last Jedi is that it tries to do that with like fucking Thanos' glove on. Because like that entire middle stretch when you go to Canto Bight and you're on this casino planet, it's all about like the privilege and haves and have-nots, and look, these fucking animals are being slaved for our pleasure, and like it's really heavy-handed, and it's slow, and it has no real functional story purpose. It's just, I want to talk about inequality for 40 minutes in a Star Wars movie. And it's like you could cut that out entirely and the movie still works. So that felt like an indulgence on Ryan's part, that like, I just want to talk about a thing in a Star Wars movie. And I think in Rise of Skywalker, it's done as part of the fabric of it. Like, who are you? How did you get here? How did you get to be part of the rebellion? Oh, we were just like you. And with Eric's tiny rewrite, I think that just hammers it home of like, we were inspired by you, FN218, blah, blah, blah.
Just that, like, it would have made it more legendary. Like, oh shit, like people noticed. It wasn't just like what I've given to the movies in terms of like, I'm Finn and I hang out with these cats and we do shit together. But like, people were inspired by his action, and that's like what helps the rebellion as well. That's cool.
And one of my favorite scenes in Return of the Jedi is when Luke returns to help assault on Endor. Right, like they're gonna launch a shuttle and we're gonna go down. I'm part of that landing party too, and the reverence of everybody's face when they see Luke Skywalker walk into that room, because he's the guy that fucking killed the Death Star. He's the guy who went mano a mano against Darth Vader. Right. He's the guy who gave up a hand for this fight. He's the guy who's the best of us, who's struggling with shit just like we are. And to get that moment from Finn where it's like, no man, you're a fucking legend.
Yeah,
would be amazing, because they are legends.
You
That's
good?
all I got. Yeah.
You win a game. Pick one of these horrible games, man, from the good folks at Play Storm. Smell my finger, a big fat card on game. On which one? Oh, I did that.
There you go.
Oh my God, you're gonna turn a game away?
Yeah, well, no, he left me in the movie, even though I am staring down the barrel of the fucking camera like
He's there for sure.
like a chump.
He's like the dormouse. He wakes up and then goes back to sleep in the movie. Who we got next? What's your name, man?
David.
Hey, we'll give it up for David.
So I had two scenes that were most impactful to me, and one was on top of the Star Destroyer when they had the land assault. I really loved how they orchestrated all that into that. But then the more impactful emotionally was, I was thinking that C-3PO was gonna get deleted, and I was ready to embrace it. Honestly, when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's the ultimate sacrifice right there.
Right.
And even the Kenny Baker tension that he had with Anthony Daniels, and but then bringing it right back, saying we were friends, weren't we?
Yeah. It was really sweet. The only thing about I was there when they shot that scene of wiping his memory, and I remember being like, oh my God. But it wasn't until I got home where I was like, this is the second time this motherfucker's memory's been wiped. At the end of the prequels, they're like, wipe the droids. He's like, what? So it would have been nice if after he came back online, they had him fucking go deeper and remember everything, where he was like, Darth Vader made me! I know how to beat these fuckers! I dug that as well. Anthony Daniels, they gave him some more meat this time than they have in the previous flicks. And it was emotional shit, wiping him. And then also I thought it was a lovely have your cake and eat it too. You get to kill C-3PO and then have him come back to life and be like, I am C-3PO. And from the lines that we're familiar with when we first meet him from the first movie. And then later on, R2 gives him everything back and stuff. So once again, every box is ticked. So even if you were like, what? They wiped C-3PO? Don't worry, he's going to get his memories back as well. They kind of covered all their bases.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah, there was.
Come on, Mike. Nobody's going to fucking hear that.
They restored
Come into the light. Nobody's going to see it.
Restored his memory up until the end of Force Awakens.
So he doesn't remember.
Last Jedi.
That seems like another fuck you to
Very
Rian
big
Johnson.
shade.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah. That is the last time he saw R2-D2. He didn't see R2-D2 in Last Jedi.
That is a level of shade that I didn't even fucking smell, man. Wow, that's crazy.
I didn't think there'd be a backup though. But
that's true.
I hated him getting his memories back.
Yeah,
I really did.
Because you're like, what was this? There was no sacrifice.
Yeah, it's like I'm willing to give up all of you because I believe in this mission. And if this is the only way for us to get there, I will lay myself down on the fucking wire for this.
It doesn't change the fact that he did it.
Except that now there's no repercussions for him doing it because, oh no, R2's got backup, so it's all fine. It's like, no, let him have his sacrifice. Let him be that hero. And let it count. Let it just carry you through. No.
Was he even in Last Jedi? What did he do in Last Jedi? Does he have a moment or anything?
It's not memorable to me.
So apparently, again, it doesn't matter. He's like, I don't remember that movie. So will he remember the events of Rise of Skywalker? No. Just from when he gets all his memory back. Well, no, he would, because R2 just gave him more memory, but he would remember because he was like, hello, I'm C-3PO. So everything from that moment forward.
All he remembers is Babu Frick and then like a bunch of other
and everything
shit.
that happened after Babu Frick. And he was like, he's cute, but he's no Baby Yoda, I'll tell you that much.
He was an incredible droid smith, though.
He was a great droid smith, man. And just finally, before the movie was over, we got to see somebody droid cracking and shit like that. Is that it?
That's it, yes.
You win a game. Come pick it up. Well done, my friend. Like it. One or the other. Beautiful. What do we got next, JC?
Hi, Captain.
Hi there. So you guys started to really get into what I thought was the most important
Did you
part
say
of this
hi,
movie.
Ken?
I just said howdy, Captain.
Oh, I'm Tom.
What's your name, Captain?
My name is Tom.
Tom, give it up for Tom, man. It's Tom. When he said hi, Ken, I was like, oh, he knows him.
So the thing that got me about this movie, and I love this movie,
right?
I left this movie feeling good. And really one of the things that made me feel good about this movie was what you guys started to talk about when Luke raised Red 5.
Yes.
That to me was the conclusion of the Skywalker saga. In Empire, Luke couldn't believe that that could be done.
Right.
Yoda was telling him, you know, you have to forget what you've learned. And Luke wasn't able to do that through the first trilogy. And in this movie, when she threw the lightsaber into the fire and he caught it, and all that was really an FU to Jedi. Mm-hmm. What he was there to do was say, I've learned this. I finally learned what Yoda was here to teach me. And that was to let go. And when he raised Red 5, that was his ability to do what he could never do.
In life.
In life, yeah. And that was why and so when Leia finally disappeared when Luke was gone, that was it. She was saying, well, it's done. It's finally finished. This saga is done. He's learned what he needs to learn, and the saga is done. And so JJ's idea of this will wrap up the Skywalker saga was all wrapped up in that moment. And that was it for me. That's all I needed. That's all I needed from this movie. And I think that really sort of Rian Johnson's movie set this up.
Yeah.
And I only appreciated that after I left.
Suddenly you were able to be like, oh, shit, like fucking, that's what did it.
Yeah. And so...
Since when did Force Ghosts get this fucking powerful? And if they're always this fucking powerful,
in
why
Jedi.
have they not
in
been
Return of the
doing
Jedi.
this shit all the time?
Yeah.
It's a little bit like the Dr. Manhattan. The more powerful you make them, the more you question, like, why didn't you do more shit, man?
Well, that's sort of something that happens throughout the sequel trilogy. I mean, Force healing is the same as the question that you're asking.
Oh yeah, but like if Yoda could have been,
and the Holdo move is also that.
Yeah, like
that could have solved everything in the original trilogy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So could have Force healing.
Right. I mean, I feel like the Holdo maneuver, which I love that terminology, is a thing that like she thought of at the moment and nobody had thought of before because nobody was dumb enough to do that with a fucking starship.
Well, I agree with that, and I think that's kind of a ridiculous.
Hold on.
I think that's kind of ridiculous to think that no one thought of that before then.
Or if people had thought of it, nobody did it. Like, as it's, again, first time we've seen it. But like, if Force ghosts can start doing shit like lifting X-wings, then like, guys, you're all here. Like, let's all do some shit. Like, why are we not knocking down AT-ATs when we can?
Yeah. Be with me, fighting these fuckers.
Yeah, seriously.
But good thing is it's the last movie, so we never have to worry about it.
Like,
And Rey was able to lift, I don't know how many stones in Jedi she lifted, but Luke was only able to lift 3.
Yeah, so she's way more powerful.
Yeah. And that sort of flies in the face of what the Force is supposed to represent to a Jedi.
Lifting rocks.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a beautiful point, man. You win a game. Come up and get one, Tom. Well done. Give it up for Tom. Excellent job. Who's next? What's your name, Captain?
I am Dylan.
Dylan? Yeah, you can
Hey,
say it.
Dylan.
Give it up for Dylan, man. My man just switched out. He's like, I do not want smell my finger. Can't bring this home. What do you got, Dylan?
You know what, man? I'm like a basic Star Wars fan. Like, I love the movies. I go and check them out. Other people try and school me on them all the time. So, like, I'm like, I know what's up. And then other people are like, we'll talk about the fight, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, and they don't know the plan. I'll be like, Mustafar. Like, okay, I know some shit, but not too much.
Casual fan.
Yeah.
More than casual, because you named some places.
Yeah, I know some of the places. Sorry about that. So,
I'm familiar with that.
seeing the movie the first time, I think I was way too stoned because I saw the flick, and you guys are all gonna laugh, but I saw the flick. I'm watching the flick. She goes off, she's throwing the lightsaber in there, and he's like, you have all the tools you need. You have all the tools you need.
Hold on one sec. We have a little sound issue. Take that one.
You got all the tools you need.
You got all the tools you need. And then she grabs the Wayfinder, and I'm like, wait, Kylo Ren destroyed that shit. And then, he has the other one. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, what am I talking about? She fucking stole this shit, and now
Hold
that's why
on
it's there.
Hold on one sec. You want to give him mine for the time being? I'll reach probably.
That's an RF issue. There might be like concept set or
Here, toss it over.
I was gonna say, is it me? Oh, go back. I'll go back.
We did it.
So, anyways, yeah. So he tells her she has everything she needs and everything like that, and I'm sitting there going, how? She doesn't have the Wayfinder. And then I'm realizing I'm high as fuck, and I didn't realize the last 5 minutes she took off after defeating Kylo Ren in Kylo Ren's ship. So I'm sitting there going, oh, great, all right, I got to go see this shit Saturday before Kevin Smith. So, so I go a second time and whatnot. I watch the movie, and I'm like, you know what? Decent flick. It wasn't overly epic, but I give it a decent review as just a casual fan. I thought it was awesome. Especially in a year where Endgame just came out, everyone's just going to want some space battle that's going to try and compare with that one. But you know what? It is what it is. It's a good flick. I give it a thumbs up. And earlier you were talking about when they came down. Would you have rather had Kerry Russell say we're not alone, other than?
No, I wanted Kylo. I wanted Ben Solo to do that. I mean, and I like the Kerry Russell character. Like, I like what it says about, like, no, we've all got a history. We've all been somewhere before. We chose to come here. But yeah, and like, listen, nothing in this movie looks bad. Like, it's not like they got to replace the fucking cat hands because they didn't do it right the first time. like this.
Now I want to see that movie. I want to see the shitty cut.
Like, everything is gorgeous. I mean, this is state of the art work. And so when you see fields of fucking Star Destroyers, it looks amazing. When you're having this fucking, you're crawling around the inside of Return of the Jedi and it's broken, it's beautiful. Like, everything is beautiful. The things that I just always want, it's just a little bit more emotional resonance, a little bit more depth, a little bit more like, here's the way that we break your heart for real, and not just by giving you a thing that you remember when you were 8, but a thing that, like, you can just take with you from here on out. So yeah, it's less about how awesome it is and more about how deep it is. Because it is awesome. Like, literally, to look at it, it fills you with awe of how did we do this.
Yeah, it's epic. That was it? I like that. From somebody who's just like, this ain't my religion. This is some of the movies that I see, and I've seen them all.
I was gonna say I like flicks, man, and I thought it was a good flick. Although, as a casual moviegoer, I was happy with them showing Palpatine right off the bat. I was like, what, 2 hours? How long are we gonna fucking wait? And then right off the bat, I was like, I'll give you props for that.
I felt the same way. I was like, well, they're gonna make us wait until the third act, and right up front, they're like, here's our Palpa dick, and they just whipped it out. Like, let's get this out of the way. Look how fucking cruddy it looks and shit. I thought that was a smart move too. I appreciated that.
The dead do speak.
The dead do speak. I thought that was fucking funny in the crawl. The dead speak. It's like a headline and shit. You win a game. Come pick one up, man. Give it up
Thank
for
you,
him.
man.
Excellent job. Pleasure, man. Who
Thank
we got
you.
next? What's your name, sir?
My name is Tim.
Give it
Hey,
up for Tim.
So I had two thoughts. The first one being that just to recognize the brilliance of John Williams in the last Star Wars soundtrack that he will ever write.
Absolutely.
And
also, he got a cameo.
Yeah.
He was in the bar.
With his eye patch and everything,
Yeah.
which I thought was great. But the other thing was kind of going off of the C-3PO. I loved how he was a little bit in Last Jedi, and Leia was like that ridiculous, shocked face or whatever off. But I loved how we haven't seen him too much in the previous two, and then this one, he was all the one-liners all the way through. Like, oh, Babu Frick, one of my oldest friends, because he's been this memory for 10 minutes. So, but I thought that in his journey and him being integral to the story, just allowed him, as opposed to R2, who was almost always integral to the story, and these other droids, while C-3PO was kind of just there as, I'm a companion, and really gives Anthony Daniels, after 42 years being a part of every single movie except for Solo, a good send-off, a great send-off.
Absolutely agreed. And also a career best performance, I thought, for him in that scene. You felt oh shit, the gravitas of shutting him down.
Yeah.
He carried it, and they did honor him, and he has been there every step of the fucking way. Now we've got a gazillion different droids, and they added a new one who I think that's JJ's voice.
It's JJ's voice, yeah.
They've introduced BB-8, and then here's another even fucking cuter droid and shit. And you forget, we begin the journey with two droids who in 1977 we were all like, I've never fucking seen anything like that.
Right.
That one's adorable and whatever, he's got a friend. But fucking, oh my God, this is fantastic. And, the droids have played varying roles, as you said, in Last Jedi. There wasn't really much for C-3PO in Force Awakens. He's you're wondering why I have a red arm and shit, a red leg. That was it. So this one, they gave him a lot more to do, gave him a few big fucking moments and made him feel like he was part of it. It's true. Generally, R2 is the big fucking hero and stuff.
Right.
So having him have the message in him was kind of dope.
Yeah, and for me, I literally do not remember the first time I ever watched Star Wars. It's just been that ingrained in my life, the entirety of it. So I loved this film, and I even saw it twice in 12 hours at 1:30 a.m. Thursday night, and then with my parents.
Fucking A,
because
man.
I just loved it.
True blue.
Yeah.
Favorite part?
Probably when they showed Wedge Antilles and that whole thing. I was like, yes, he's there, and just the little cameos.
He's
all
been
the way
in
through.
every important fucking battle.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah. Sure.
There's a flashback, I think it's a flashback, to when Rey gets taken from her parents.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is the character who does the taking, is that Maz Kanata?
No, that's Unkar Plot.
That was the guy that Simon Pegg played, right?
This is worth one half portion.
Well, you get one portion. That was Simon Pegg.
Okay. Because I thought there was that alien, a younger, less wrinkly, a little taller version.
Well, and in the original, and when she first gets that vision, when she touches the lightsaber, and you see that flashback the first time, you kind of hear him go stay with me, girl, don't run away, kind of a thing, as she's yelling out to her parents being, off that way.
Yeah, he does. You heard his voice again. But do you think Simon Pegg was also the British guy who looked like Blue Devil from DC Comics? Who was like, win the war?
It could have been. It also could have been, I'm blanking on his name, K2SO.
Alan Tudyk?
Alan Tudyk, because, he just comes in and does these random voices and then goes away.
I could just see Simon doing it just because him and JJ are kind of tight and stuff. And that was a kind of substantial small bit.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
No, that was it.
You win a game. Come get it, man.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Well done. And thank you for supporting this little independent film by going twice. They could use all the help they can get. Oh, I can do that as well. What's your name, sir?
My name is Samuel.
Give it up for Daniel.
Samuel.
Samuel. Give it up for Samuel.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's okay.
Thank you for correcting me.
I just want to comment on what a class act JJ did with the ending, just the two moons on Tatooine. Just for me, my first Star Wars experience was when I was little. It was Episode 1, watching little Anakin on Tatooine, on just Tatooine, and with the two moons and everything, and so just ending it there, and then also when I grew up and I watched the older ones, like Luke on Tatooine, he ended it where it started, literally for every generation,
Yeah,
so
true.
it
Good
just
point. I hadn't thought for your generation too. Tatooine plays a part.
yeah. So I just thought that he's such a class act to do that, and then one of my favorite parts was the gold lightsaber. I've never seen something like that, and one of my favorite colors is gold, and I've always wondered are there any other different colors of lightsabers? So that was just epic to me, a gold freaking lightsaber.
Also, the introduction of Leia had a lightsaber.
Yeah, that too.
Which is
yeah.
brand new information and also
Yeah.
cool, including the sequence where he flashes back to it was the last night of her training, and you're like, he trained his fucking sister, and then she fucking knocks him on his ass, and she was ready to go, and all that shit was really cool. I loved in the movie when General Leia walks away, and Rey says, "Yes, master."
Yeah.
When she revealed she is her master at this point. She's the fucking Padawan.
And I had a point to make about Leia's death, kind of, because in that flashback scene, Luke said that she sensed her death would happen, or her son's death would happen at the end of her Jedi journey. Well, the end of her Jedi journey was when Ben gave up his life force for Rey to come back to life, and then right at that point, after the kiss and everything, then her body disappears, and right after that, Ben's body disappears. Boom, and her Jedi journey ends, and her son died. So it just confirmed what Luke said.
That's pretty good. Wait a sec, I gotta think it through.
Yeah, no, that tracks.
That does track. Fucking well done.
Yeah.
They
And
said
then she
it.
gets to be a Force ghost because now she achieved her training as a Jedi.
her Jedi journey's done. So
then does Kylo not get to be a Force ghost?
I just think it was too soon. Maybe I don't.
He still got some
too
work to
soon,
do.
man. Too soon. He's got to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I mean, his body does disappear, which seems to be
Yeah.
the token to
Yeah,
get into
usually
Force
that's
ghost.
I don't know why they didn't do it. I think it would have been cool to do Kylo there too, because at the end of Return of the Jedi, they didn't they redo it with Anakin
They
from
had young Anakin
young
as well,
Anakin,
yeah,
So-
instead of the old Anakin.
Yeah, and so I think they could have
It
done
was
that.
Ben Kenobi, Anakin, and
Yoda.
Yoda together.
Yeah, so yeah.
I mean, look, again, fucking, we could pick you in the whole night, but I don't see, there's other than he can't be a Force ghost because he's not a Jedi. Fuck that. These
Yeah,
are
fuck
movies.
that.
There's no reason they couldn't have had
Yeah.
Han standing there with Luke and Leia. And there's your fucking last shot. But I think they honored, canon. Is that the
Yeah.
idea, JC? Why am I asking you? You don't even fucking know, man.
Yeah.
We went to you
I mean,
before as an expert. You're like, I don't know.
If I wanted to be nitpicky and I wanted Han, Luke, and Leia in the frame,
Yeah.
I maybe would have done it during the flashback when we saw young Luke and young Leia. You could have de-aged Harrison and put those guys on screen in that frame.
That's fucking cool too, man. Holy shit. We're all talking about the movie they didn't make and shit.
Or there's also no reason that when Leia, if Leia is the one who sends the image of Han to Ben, she could have sent the image of Han and herself and Luke Skywalker, so that they're all there. Nobody's a Force ghost. They're all manifestations of whatever, and you get them all on the same page.
All memories.
Yes, I like the younger version though.
Jedi intervention.
Nice. That's a new video game, right?
You do that shit off camera. Is that all you got?
Yeah, that was- I
That's
just
great.
wanted
Come
to
get a
tie
game.
that
You won. Give it up for him, man. Great job. Excellent insight. One more game means we got one question left, man. Pick wisely, JC. Somebody going home with smell my finger game. What's your name?
My name is Derek.
What is it?
Derek.
Everyone give it up for Derek.
I'm gonna give it up to my wife real quick, who made the Baby Yodas. because
Your
2 days ago,
your wife made the Baby Yoda?
Yes.
Get
yes,
up
she
there
did.
with him, man. Get up on camera. Show the world the talented face behind. Look at this damn adorable Baby
'Cause
Yoda.
2 days ago, we were sitting on the couch, and I mentioned like, oh, once in a while, people bring stuff for Kevin and Marc, and you've made these Baby Yodas for people. It would be really cool if we had one for them. And I said it more of a joke, but she busted her ass and got
How
it
many
made.
days ago?
Oh shit!
You did both Baby Yodas in one day?
Yeah, I did. I actually worked on one of them when I saw Rise of Skywalker again last night because I had seen it a couple
You worked on it in the theater?
Yes.
So you were like doing this shit while the movie's going on? That's fucking adorable, man.
I don't think I can do anything.
Oh my God, thank
that
you,
fast.
man. I thought you made like 100 and you just gave us 2, but you made it just for us.
I've made 12.
12?
I'm really tired of making them. By
No, you gotta keep going, man. Fucking look at that shit. Who don't want one of those?
I will
Where's that
totally not
camera?
put that on
Look at
eBay
it's there.
tonight.
This shit's going right on my goddamn shelf. And anytime anyone's like, hey man, Baby Yoda, I'm like, look at this fucking shit. Beautiful. Thank you for that.
So, like most people before Rise of Skywalker came out, we rewatched everything. And when The Last Jedi came about, it kind of hit me that The Last Jedi has so many moments that stand out to me as some of like the best in the series. Like the first battle and the last battle are outstanding. And everything with Canto Bight, I just checked Facebook or went on Instagram. And kind of looking back on it now, it's got the highest of highs and the lowest of lows for me. And with Rise of Skywalker, I didn't really feel that same height or that same depth. Like the lightsaber battle that you have in the wreckage of the Death Star was awesome because it was a great lightsaber battle and they had force jumping and all those things that you don't necessarily see in all the other movies. But I kind of walk away with it just being not necessarily happy with everything that happened in the movie, but I'm happy with where it ended up.
Agreed.
And the movie ends with Rey and her lightsaber, and I walk out of the theater thinking, when are we going to get Rey's story? We just spent a trilogy with these new characters, but everything they did was tied to these old characters that we know and love. So what can we do with Rey moving forward? So I guess I have less of a statement, more of a question of
Fair enough.
What can we do with Rey now? Because, literally everyone is dead, and now she can kind of rebuild what she wants.
Yeah, I mean, if they have set up this show about the beginnings of this Force-sensitive community that's out in the world that didn't know what to do with it, Rey is the last fucking Jedi, right? Like, Rey is the one who can train them all. Rey gets to be Luke Skywalker for a new generation and teach them the ways of the Force and run them through the training course wherever she decides to set one up. But I think if she's down in the way that apparently John Boyega isn't, to like, I'll go do a TV show. I'll fucking Nick Fury my way through this TV show. I'll do the first episode, I'll drop in like on episode 8, and I'll be back again for the finale, and just pay me. And like, it gets to be like a lower decks version of like Jedi Academy, like what happens in this school where everybody's got fucking powers. That's kind of sweet.
I like your show. You can have my money.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
What would I do with Rey? I'm in charge of a Rey show.
Yeah.
I want it to be successful. It's fucking Rey and Baby Yoda every episode. Over and over again. Who's teaching who the Force? We'll find out.
She needs a Padawan.
That's true. No, she is the most powerful being in the galaxy at this point, right? She could have been the new Emperor.
Mhm.
Instead, she's like, fucking the Emperor of the Jedis or whatever the fuck. She's got all the power. What do you do with that character? What do you do with the most powerful person in the world? Generally, you crucify them, if I remember my Bible correctly. They just did it with Dr. Manhattan, too.
They did.
Spoilers. I don't know.
Also,
I don't
to
know what
that-
I would do with Rey.
To that point, Baby Yoda in that timeline isn't a baby anymore.
He's old ass Yoda?
No, probably just like
Teen Yoda?
Teen Yoda.
Yeah.
75.
Yeah, 75.
Really?
75,
That's
80.
still young for his species. They still haven't named that species, right?
Nope.
Nowhere in canon. He's not like the Gelflings or whatever the fuck.
So now he's like petulant teenage Yoda. Just, fuck you.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
Fucking jerking off I am.
That's why he wants the gear shift.
That's awesome. That was a great observation. Do you have anything else? Great question, rather.
No, that's it.
You don't need anything else. You gave us Baby Yoda. Give it up for him, and they win the last game. You get to smell my fucking finger. Thank you. And thank you for making those,
That's
man.
adorable.
It's fucking fantastic. It's
My
going
wife
on the
will want
shelf.
this, and my wife cannot have this.
Yeah. You're going to create a fight for Mark tonight. He's
Yeah.
going to get home, and him and his wife going to fight over the Baby
She'd be like,
Yoda.
it could have been in my stocking. I'm like, yeah, it could have, but it wasn't.
Even better, just put it in the stocking and be like, I made this. Well, we sat around and we talked about this movie until we're blue in the face, and then we heard other people talk about it. When we announced this show the other day, we thought maybe 30 people show up, but you all fucking sold it out. Did you have a good time tonight, ladies and gentlemen? I can't thank you enough for being here, man, but the guy who had the idea is the guy standing next to me. Give it up for the great Mr. Marc Bernardin.
We are not back together for a good long while.
Oh my God, so this is not only the last show of the year, this is the last Fatman Beyond of the decade.
Of the decade.
And we don't go back until when?
I think you're back in the world in early March, late February.
No, I think I come back week of the 20th. We could probably do a show then.
All
I
right.
mean, look, I'm sure while I'm gone, you'll be fucking taking over, and it won't be fucking Fatman Beyond. It'll be Black Man all over again and shit like that. So you'll keep the home fires burning.
I already got the first show lined up.
So yeah, keep them lined up all through January. Like the week of January 20, 21st, 22nd, I'm here in town before I go up to Sundance for a few days to do the IMDb stuff there. So maybe we could do one there right
Sure.
before I head off and stuff.
You tell me when you're back.
I will.
Yeah.
In the meantime, fucking Hammer, don't hurt him. Fuck. You're doing a great job, man.
I got a good one on the 14th.
What is it? Start selling. Is that the first one of the year?
It's the first one of the year.
If you're at home watching this, the first Black Man Beyond of 2020 fuck,
2020
is going to be what and who?
January 14th. One guest is coming back in a brand new one. I will have a pair of Battlestar Galactica veterans with me.
Ooh.
Tricia Helfer, who could not make her previously appointed task, is going to make her debut behind the bar.
Oh, shit.
And she's bringing Katie Sackhoff with her.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah. So, Tricia...
Nine and, or Starbuck or
Starbuck, yeah. Tricia promised me a threesome, and she's delivering a threesome.
Oh, shit. All right, so that is when?
The 14th, Tuesday the 14th of January.
Tuesday 14th. Tickets on sale yet?
Not yet.
Soon they will be. You can go pick up tickets for that. Also, the Jay and Silent Bob Reboot Roadshow Tour continues, ladies and gentlemen. I go back out on the road as of January 10th to Oakland. Fox Theater in Oakland. Tickets at rebootroadshow.com. We tour until February. I have 25 more cities to go to before we're done. We finish February 26th, which is the 1-year anniversary of when we started shooting the movie.
Oh,
see how that works and
look
stuff?
at that.
So you can come see me on the road and whatnot and see the movie with me. What else can I tell you? Go out right now, if you haven't already, and see Rise of Skywalker. As you heard from a few of us, we've seen it multiple times and whatnot. I'm not saying do this to help the movie. It needs your help. They don't need fucking help. They're Disney, they're Star Wars, they're going to make all the money and shit. But they finished something. This is a big conclusion, man. This is a year of fucking finales. Game of Thrones ended. Fucking the Avengers saga temporarily ended. This is fucking ending and shit like that. Me, I opened up the View Askew universe. I'm like, no, I'm back. Nothing ending. We're here. But a lot of big endings going on, man. So check this one out. This is a huge cinematic fucking event. Anything you want to add before we get out?
I don't, man. I mean, if you care the slightest bit Star Wars, you kind of owe it to yourself to see this because it is the finale. It is the last version of this story we're going to get. And regardless of my nitpicks or my sort of feelings about scenes and whatever, it's an important fucking moment in the life of a nerd is to watch something end and end with some sense of style and some sense of grace and some sense of love for sure.
Well fucking put, man. Give it up for Marc. He said something nice. But most importantly, thank you to everybody who shows up to this show week in and week out. We love the people who watch at home and stuff, folks who can't be here and stuff. But being here in the room, man, you see so many of the same familiar faces all over again, and it makes you feel like family. You know, part of the the story of Rise of Skywalker, at least that I got out of it, was that, you know, you don't get to pick your fucking family. Like, she was related to Palpatine. She's like, oh, fuck that. So you do get to pick your family. Sometimes you're not the, you know, you don't want to hang with the family you were fucking born to and shit. You build your own family and stuff. We have built our own family here in this very space, man, week after week. Y'all keep coming back and supporting us, and I can't thank you enough. It's one of my favorite things in the world to do this show, and it sucked being away for so long, not being able to do it, but we got to do it 3 times in the span of a week now, between the show at the fucking Chinese, and then the show here the other day, and then the show tonight and stuff. And I can't thank you all enough for being here, man. Thanks for making us feel like we got something to say every week, because Lord knows we do, but you make us feel like there's somebody there to hear it, man. As the year comes to a close, as the decade comes to a close, thanks everybody for coming out. Thanks to JC for giving us a place to do this fucking show. Thanks to the people at home for watching the fucking show. And thank you to this guy who makes the fucking show for me, man. Like, you know, this show's taken on a few different permutations and whatnot. This is obviously my favorite version of the show because we've done this version the longest and stuff. And that's because every week I get to learn a little bit of something standing next to you. Mostly I learn you don't like nothing, but but what I learn is how things could be better and how a story could change and be more effective and stuff like that. Not only am I entertained, I have a good time, but I also walk away like a better creator every time I watch this show. So thank you for that, my friend.
No, that's very sweet.
That is Fatman Beyond for this week, man. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernardin.
Tune in next year. Same fat time, same fat channel, smodcast.com or
youtube.com/Kevin Smith.
May the force be with you.